Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the All Japan Pro Wrestling series here on the channel using TEW 2020. As we're still going to be in the year 1992 for just a little bit longer, as we only have 2 tours left, which is kind of wild to think because we're only in September. But basically, uh, the October Giant series actually starts in October, so to end out basically September, we have the 20th anniversary show, and then we'll have a ginormous. I mean, it's basically going to be 18 shows in this one episode. We're gonna get into the big episodes now, and I just want to say I've had people comment and I've talked to people recently of just kind of like, hey, I feel bad that I kind of skipped through the booking parts of the video because I just want to watch and see kind of what happens organically. That's totally fine. I just in case you were feeling guilty or feeling any type of like if I would not be receptacle to that. But obviously, we only have so much time in this world. We only have so much, hours in this world to enjoy stuff. And if you don't want to, if you're strapped for time, or if you just want to put it in the background, that's kind of the idea for this was, anyways, to kind of be able to listen kind of like a podcast form. We don't have to technically view the video. You can just kind of listen to it and still get the same enjoyment. So completely understand as far as that goes. As for because really with this series especially, it's going to be super long. It's going to be probably 2 hours. These videos are going to be hopefully try to be as quick as possible. I know this intro is kind of defeating that purpose, but I just felt like with this series specifically, it was nice to mention, be like, hey, I appreciate you guys, even if you skim through the videos. I try to make it as easy as possible as far as for the skimming of that. I would love to do the chapters, the YouTube chapters thing, or even the idea kind of years ago was to maybe potentially have like 2 different videos for the series, like have one where it's just the running of the show, and then the other one where it's kind of everything involved, which that's a great idea, but unfortunately I don't have enough time to do all that. And I try to do that with the YouTube chapters to make it at least a little easier for people that do skim through, but I end up rushing for time anyways. I'm just like, fuck it, we just gotta render the video and get it out there as soon as we can. But hopefully, it's not that big of a deal, and in the future, we can try to make it easier for those who do, and for the people that do watch and listen the entire time. God bless you. You're a real one. As for this episode, there's really 2 big shows. Of course, the 20th anniversary show that's about to happen, and then the final show, the October Giant series. I do want to say something real quickly, and that's the first tour goal, so I'm just glad I wrote this down. So, I don't know why last episode, I'm just so fucking dumb. I don't know what it was that was making me think that Jun Akiyama made his debut in like the summertime, like June or July, because his actual debut was against Kobashi at this 20th anniversary show. Super embarrassing, especially for those who are new to All Japan, who've never seen anything from All Japan from this time period. I try to get the most factoids about this era because I know a lot of you guys have not seen anything from this era, so try to give the most factual evidence that I can for this, and it just sucks, when I fail like that, and because I wouldn't say there's pressure, but I do try to give as much real information as I can, just to, in case you're like, hey, I kind of like what this guy's doing with TEW, I'll check it out, as far as what the actual product was like. Because, this is really the mid-90s All Japan. I mean, I think it's still the best Japanese pro wrestling product you'll probably see. There's prime New Japan from like the 2010s into even the late 2010s, honestly. Probably 2011, 12-ish to about 2016, 17, around there. I mean, that's some great stuff as well, but just for how simple a lot of that time period is, All Japan in the 90s, because, like we said in the previous episode, a lot of it is pretty straightforward, because a lot of the stories and rivalries from this time period kind of stemmed from real life things, with the first big feud really for All Japan in the 80s was between Riki Choshu and Jumbo Tsuruta, and they were very similar as far as before they got into professional wrestling. They were both in the same Olympics in Munich, Germany. I forget which year it was off the top of my head, but that same Olympic year, then they both took the same course after their collegiate slash amateur, careers of amateur wrestling. going from that to pro wrestling into All Japan. So whenever those matches would take place, there's a bit of like added incentive. Same thing with Masawa and Jumbo. When those matches took place, it was, the old generation of Jumbo Tsuruta and the newer generation of Mitsuha Masawa. Just that type of simple story. And then once Masawa and Kawada would face off, or Masawa and Kobashi would face off, or just any of the four pillars, those four guys being the best of the best and being around the same age, coming in around the same time, relatively, a couple of years apart from most of them. But, like Masao and Kawada went to the same high school, and you have that type of added feeling as well. So it's just a little bit more personal, as far as those stories go. So it just, that was kind of like a lot of the heightened awareness of that time is just knowing that there is like legitimate background history between the two people in the ring as well, added to the, a little fuel to the fire, if you will. But yeah, this is going to be now the real test, of the series now going forward, because a lot of these tours are going to be 17, 18, 19, some even more shows per episode, which is a lot, but I think we'll be able to do it, and hopefully, we do it without me just my back breaking from the pressure, or just not being able to handle it, but I think we'll be able to do it. As we are kind of the mini feud so far that I've set up for the October Giant Series tour is between the Funks and the Miracle Violence Connection. Now, they did have a tag match at the previous episode where the Miracle Violence Connection actually did beat the Funks, but I want to build up something again to have it where this time around it's going to be for number one contendership for the All Japan tag titles. So basically, I want to say it's days 5 and 6 and 8. There's going to be a singles match between Dory Funk Jr. and Dr. Death Steve Williams, and then Terry Funk and Terry Gordy, and then a tag match for the number one contendership for the All Japan Tag Team titles. I would like to have some more kind of stories throughout the tour, just because I think it's going to be a little bit easier for me as a booker, and plus I think it's going to be a little bit more of a cohesive kind of story throughout a tour. I think that just kind of makes more sense. But it's going to be tough, having a cohesive story that can build up to that final show, because a lot of it, we don't really need to build up, thanks to the number one contendership matches from the previous tour. So we have that, as this is going to be Andre's last kind of tour with us. It's kind of weird since the beginning of the series, but just, with Andre, his last All Japan match was during the Giant Series tour. It was kind of like the final show, and because he retires in 93, I want to say, and I mean, it's basically the end of his in-ring career. It's kind of now in the late 90s here, so, or not the late 90s, the late 1992 of of this year is kind of the last of his run as an in-ring performer, so it just felt like, and plus his stats aren't going to look that great anyway, so I'm not expecting a whole lot. We've got him in there with some guys that can probably carry the match, though, and that's the idea behind that. Now, it's going to be tough to have this next tour goal, but I definitely want to try and implement it as much as we can, and that's try not to overdo 2v2 tag matches, because the upcoming tour that's after, the Giant Series is the Tag League, and that's going to be, obviously, we want to make that Tag League as special as we can, so we want to try to limit that as much as we can, but it's going to be tough, obviously. As for the 20th anniversary show, looks a little bit like this, as you're going to see a lot of Super Generation Army versus Tsuruta Gun in main events for at least a couple of, maybe not a couple of years, but at least for the rest of 92 and probably into 93 as well, and probably to the end of 93, to be honest, as Masawa, Toshiaki Kawada, Tsuyoshi Kikuchi against Tsuruta Gun of Kira Tawai, Jumbo Tsuruta, and Masanobu Fuji. So just a lot of it going on here. You got the heavyweight champ, the Triple Crown champ in Masawa, got his challenger in Kawada, you got the tag champs involved. You have, as far as, I think, a pretty good main event, and hopefully it delivers. A little nervous about Tsuyoshi Kikuchi and Masanobu Fuji being involved, but I still think it's going to be a pretty solid main event. Co-main event, Miracle Violence Connection and Jackie Fulton against the Funks and Richard Slinger. So obviously Jackie and Richard Slinger are going to be, as far as guys to look out for, because they're probably not going to bring this match up. But I think with the Funks involved and with Dr. Death and Terry Gordy involved, it should be a pretty good match. I don't know if it's going to be the best thing on this card, but it's got a good shot as far as now the All Asia Tag Title number one contendership matchup as the British Bruisers versus the Malenko Brothers. Of course, the Malenko Brothers just had their title shot at the previous tour, so it just kind of makes sense to have the British Bruisers go through them next. Then we're going to have the Great Kabuki versus Johnny Ace. A pretty good singles match, if I'm being honest here. I mean, that should do pretty well. because Johnny Ace was doing about low 60s, Kabuki's doing about mid 50s, so a decent little mid card match for this early in the series. Then Andre the Giant, Giant Baba versus Stan Hansen and Dan Spivey. Obviously, this is going to be a carry job by Stan Hansen, but I mean, just to have Andre and Giant Baba kind of team for this 20th anniversary show just makes sense, I think, from that perspective. A big time tag team like that, two legendary big men in their own ways. Obviously, Giant Bob, he made the fucking company. We gotta have him on the 20th anniversary show in some factor. And to have that Kenta Kobashi Jun Akiyama match, sure, is it not gonna be as prestigious as the fucking debut that was supposed to happen in real life? Yeah, that would have been great to replicate that, and that was the idea, but completely blanked on when that was for some reason. As Abdullah the Butcher versus Gary Albright. Gary Albright's been tremendous. Probably I would say, the best signee so far of the series. It's tough, because Dean's tremendous too, but definitely Gary Albright's been tremendous, and Dynamite Kid as well, to bring him back into the fold. And the opener, Masao Inoue and Mighty Inoue, going to take on Satoru Asako and Jun Uzumaida, as they're a bit one-sided with the Inoue team. Obviously, Mighty Inoue, established guy against, and there's three other young lions in the match, but he's facing off against two young lions. Pretty straightforward on who's going to win that one, but I just felt like having the Inoue's team would be pretty fun. As that is where we're at as far as that goes. Let's run this 20th anniversary show. Let's get it rocking and rolling here. So we got Korakuen Hall, and I think Korakuen might not be the best idea for this, but I mean, I want it to be at a somewhat of a big venue. So we're just kind of stuck. Sure, it's not going to sell out, but it should do okay, though, I think, hopefully. Fingers crossed. As, of course, now we get to go through that all over again. See where we're at as far as the Super Generation Army and Saruta Gun, going 22 minutes, as Masao's going to beat Masanobu Fuchi. That was a tough one to really pick, because really I was like, well, we don't want to have Taue to lose. We don't have Jumbo lose either, so it just felt like Fuchi was the best option there. And then the co-main, which, let's see if we got, there it, oh no, did we not even add it? Oh, there it is. I was just, I was blanking there. Miracle Vaughn's connection with Jackie Fulton against the Funks, and Richard Slinger, as Terry's going to be Jackie Fulton there. And then I do want to bring up, luckily I have this on a notepad on the side, just so I don't forget anything, or forget the order. I'm like blanking. But yeah, Bruisers and the Malenko brothers, which British Bruisers will be winning, as Johnny Smith's going to be Joe Malenko there to set up for an all-age title match at the next tour. And the Great Kabuki and Johnny Ace. We're going to give Johnny Ace the win. I know the Great Kabuki, he's came in and won a couple of matches for us, but Johnny Ace is going to outperform him. Just felt like that made sense as far as him getting the win. Then the Andre and Giant Baba versus Hansen and Spivey. Given that win to Stan Hansen or Andre the Giant just kind of made sense. Andre's stamina's not great, as is Giant Baba's, but I think Stan's going to be able to carry him. Then Kobashi and Jun Akiyama, of course, which Kobashi's going to win. And then Abdullah the Butcher and Gary Albright, which Gary should do pretty well against Abdullah the Butcher. We have this set for Seal the Show, and Abdullah, though, is going to, the length is not really on his side. As I forgot to hit the wrong thing there. That's okay. We'll just kind of, there we go. Then Masao Inoue and Mighty Inoue is going to get the win for his team against Satoru Asako, as that's given 10 minutes as well. So, referee, Mighty Inoue is the ref. As I forgot to take off Firecat as a ref. I gotta do that. I gotta make sure that's not a thing, so we'll just go ahead and do that here, if we can. See if I can do it here. Oh, that's right, we can do it here. I'm an idiot. There we go. So yeah, we got a good show, I think, laid out. We'll see how it runs. Yeah, 38. There went that, as Mighty Inoue with the steamroller cooled the crowd a little bit. Mighty Inoue's injury, I figured that would slow him down, but I didn't think he'd be the worst guy in the match. He wasn't. But the Satoru Asako did pretty well for a young lion, though, so that's a nice sign. So 52 for Gary Albright and Abdullah the Butcher. I mean, he was off his game. There was no selling. He was tired, too. It's just a mess, but Gary Albright is the man, and dragged him to that performance. As Kenta Kobashi with the Orange Crush in 13:01. beating Jun Akiyama there in Korakuen, 1,680 people. The 58 for Andre and Giant Baba, they actually weren't that bad. I figured they would be in I figured Bob would be in the 30s, but it actually wasn't that bad. As Stan Hansen with the Lariat over Andre the Giant at 939. Stan Hansen and Dan Spivey did really well. It just, it was what it was there. Not enough selling shown again. Oh, a 51. As Boris Malenko's the ref. Whoops. As that hurt that match a little bit, but that's okay. The Johnny Ace with the Ace Crusher, though, in 16:34. Luckily, it wasn't in the spot where it needed to deliver. I do want to check and make sure he is not reffing. Okay, he was. Whew, that could have been bad. Obviously, Mr. Kyo Iwata. See if he's out. Okay, Kyo Iwata's reffing that as well. Okay, and Joe Iguchi. Okay, perfect. As, this does pretty well. 65 there as the British Bruisers beat the Malenko brothers. Pretty close. Really, Dean's just tremendous, getting almost into the 70s. And Johnny Smith pitting Joe Malenko with a Death Valley Bomb in 1742. As Dynamite Kid with a 62, 59 for Johnny Smith, 55 for Joe Malenko. Of course, Dean Malenko with a 68. Being the fucking man of 72. So I was a little nervous about this, but I mean, Jackie and Richard Slinger actually didn't do that bad. As far as 50s and 56s, Dr. Death and Terry Funk did about the same. 75s there, 71 for Dory, and 64 for Terry Funk, or for Terry Gordy, rather, as Terry tapping down Jackie Fulton to spinning toe hold, and 1953. The main event's a 76, so it actually went together pretty well, as Masawa pins Masanobu Fuji with the Tiger Driver in 21:38. I did set this as a tour show, which might have been a mistake, because I think it would have been even better of a show. But I was still in the feeling out process for this, as far as kind of to continue the feeling out process from the previous episode was the idea here. But the Giant series will be the final show, will be a normal show, so we have that to as far as to look forward to see where we're going to place as far as if we're going to gain pop, we're going to lose pop. I got faith, in Masao and Quad, and I got faith in the tag title match as well, so it should be a pretty good show. As now we get to book that tour, and we have a lot of time to, as far as 15 days, so gonna, take a break, sim to it, and we'll catch you guys there. Alright, so, a couple of things. So, the big thing is, we're now down from big to medium, just basically because of the area battle, as we lost in New Japan, which is, I figured so, just with how we were kind of playing it safe. I didn't really factor into like, oh yeah, we could lose pop from the area battle, so that sucks. So playing it safe really didn't help us there, but luckily, we have a 6-month kind of gracing period to where we're kind of fine in, as far as figuring out where we want to go with this, as far as risking is, a lot of like normal events now, so that's gonna be nice, and I think that's gonna open up for us to maybe normal size some of the tag league shows that we know is gonna really deliver in a big way. So that's just really what we're looking for as far as in the future with that, which that does suck, but we have our first night here, our first night of the October Giant series, as really the big thing here is just let's see what we can do to really have a pretty solid, I think. Well, actually, before we even get to that, I completely forgot we have to go through the actual Giant Series card, because I think everybody knew, the Kawada-Masawa match is happening, of course, and the Funk's Taue Jumbo match, and now the British Bruisers, Kenta Kobashi and Tsuyoshi Kikuchi match. But as far as the rest of the card, you guys didn't have any ideas for the Junior Heavyweight title matchup. Dean Malenko is going to be the first challenger for Yoshinori Ogawa. I think it's going to be a pretty good match. Obviously Malenko's been doing like high 60s, Ogawa about low 50s, so it should do pretty well. I think in a spot where it's at, it should do. I mean, it's not going to probably deliver as far as the rest of these title matches, since why it's the first of the 4. But it should do pretty well, though, nonetheless. We're also going to have a Can-Am Express versus Miracle Vines Connection tag match. That should be fun. A little prelude before the upcoming tag league. So that's just kind of a big time, kind of prelim tag match, if you will. Then Joe Malenko versus Masanobu Fuchi. That's kind of like a, basically just a junior heavyweight matchup there. Figured we need to do something with Joe since we're using Dean in the singles matchup. Figured might as well throw Joe Malenko against Masanobu Fuchi. They've had a match before in All Japan, but obviously not in this series as far as singles wise. So we'll see how that one goes. As far as they do about the same kind of mid 50s, so not really expecting anything crazy there. We're gonna have an 8-man, basically a Gaijin versus but Giant Bob, Andre the Giant, and Mighty Inoue Mitsuyo Mamoto. Stan Hansen, Dan Spivey, Gary Albright, and Johnny Ace as the kind of Gaijin team there. This is, Andre's last All Japan match, so we're looking to throw a lot of big names in there and a lot of guys for the future. Really, this match, I think you're going to see the finish. You'll probably understand why Gary Albright's in this matchup. As then the opener, Jun Akiyama versus the Great Kabuki. With Kabuki just losing to Johnny Ace, felt like he could use a win back and a somewhat big show. So, going to open up the show beating Jun Akiyama there. Should be a pretty okay opener. It shouldn't do anything bad as far as ratings wise. As now we can go with the card. As let's see what we got as far as tag teams go. I do want to have the Malenko brothers versus either. I'm trying to think what would probably be, because you could go with Ogawa and Fuchi. That would probably make sense as far as from that perspective. Not sure how long I want to have it be, but for right now we'll keep it at 18. As we're gonna have Fuchi beat Joe Malenko there. Just feel like that's for the best. And yeah, there we go. We got and forgot Fuchi is the road agent. There we go. Alrighty, so obviously for a tour this big, and it not being like a tournament, it's we're in uncharted territories really for this one. Really for this episode, you're gonna start seeing more of like when we're talking about booking the booking process. It's gonna be more of like just talking about what's going on in just with the wrestling world as of 2022, as far as what's going on in the wrestling world at this time, stuff like that, just to kind of change it up a little bit as far as it not being so mundane. We're just kind of talking about the same tour over and over again. So with kind of the big thing that's happening right now in the wrestling world, as I get back home from a long Saturday, and I just see the Noah English commentator is getting destroyed on commentary for basically talking about how Eddie Kingston at the previous Dynamite was wearing a quote-unquote bootleg. I always hate calling it a bootleg, but I guess that's basically what it is, a bootleg Four Pillars shirt. And he was just kind of like, what, that's kind of bullshit that this guy's wearing this shirt when the money should be going to the family and whatnot. As someone who does have an art piece, as I like to call it, because the idea was to have that design be for a poster, as the match we'll have it be Richard Slinger and Norman Smiley, one of our new debuts. Having his, actually we'll wait, because we'll have Pete Roberts and Norman Smiley team up actually. As Chris Candido is one of our new signees we have, so we'll have Richard Slinger, which I think he has enough pop for this to work, against Chris Candido. But basically, saying it's bullshit that the family is not getting anything from this. And in my opinion, as someone who does have a design, basically mine is like an art piece, if you've never seen it before. Each four pillars like doing a move, and it's like color coordinated to what that person wants. So like Taoi's is in red, Kobayashi's is in orange, Kawada's yellow, and then obviously Masawa green. I think when it's stuff like this where independent people can kind of do their own thing, obviously they're knowing people buying the product know that it's not, like a official thing, so they understand what they're getting into, so I don't see the problem in this. It's just a weird thing, because obviously very contradictory, because then after he tweeted about it, there's a person who does sell, like, bootleg Japanese pro wrestling stuff, and like he like bought stuff from him, so it's even more just as far as contradictory to what he's saying. It's just very weird. And then I found out, I had no idea this happened, but like Hajime Ohara of Pro Wrestling Noah has been just a serial abuser for the past, basically his entire career, beating up multiple women throughout his time in Japanese pro wrestling, and mainly Pro Wrestling Noah, so that fucking sucks. He'll be definitely gone from the Noah save, but just bums me out that type of thing can happen, as we'll have Firecat Versus, I was thinking, as far as a Fire Cat, thinking Satoru Sako. It's like an undercard matchup. So kind of two kind of lightweight, junior heavyweight singles undercard matches. Fire Cat obviously going to win. But obviously, in a perfect world, would it be great to give, I would love for my design to give money to all the families that are involved in that. But there's really no way for me to set that up, or I would. And, I think I think everybody else probably is in the same breath as far as that goes, people who do designs like that. But at the same time, obviously, it's just a weird point to have when, especially, like, there's so many more, like, things, like, it's a weird hill to die on, as far as from that perspective, I think. Because there's so many different things you can do to, like, help generate, like, you're keeping that brand, maybe not brand, but that air of wrestling alive. So I think that there's more positive to that than negatives. As well as the Renegades, there's the Fantastics. We've done this once before, which the Fantastics won back in September, but this time we'll have the Renegade Warriors get the win, even though they're going to get outperformed. Probably. Because that's kind of the idea, is Bobby Fulton's actually super pissed by that. So maybe not do that. We'll change it up. But that's just kind of like the idea, in my opinion, when someone's doing something like that. I think for the most part, it's just their love of something and wanting to carry that same level. That's right, they don't have great chemistry. So we'll go with Abby instead. Abby and Kamala. So now they both should get an easy win, hopefully. So I'll have Abdullah get the win. And there's also the Champion Carnival that got announced, the lineup for this year's Champion Carnival 2022, which I'm very excited for. Obviously, the big guy that I wanted to have to kind of be the big outsider name was Takashi Sujora, because he's never, since it got announced and then COVID happened, he has not been in a Champion Carnival. Hoping one day that will happen. But Takuya Nomura and T-Hawk is pretty awesome as outsider names. As far as, and he's in the, Takuya Nomura in the same block as Kento Miyahara is pretty awesome. And Suwama too. Like, those are some big matches to have. For him, as far as who I think one should win, as far as the Champion Carnival, I actually think Yuma Aoyagi. I think it's his year, kind of like how Jake Lee had his year last year. It just makes sense as far as elevating him to a status that would definitely be great. But a Takuya Nomura, like an outsider winning, would be obviously awesome for Takuya Nomura because he's the man. But I'm just hoping for a non Kento Miyahara Suwama win. If Shuju Shikawa wins, that'd be pretty awesome though, just because he's been phenomenal this really past year, and he's still awesome. So that'd be pretty awesome to see. Even though I don't think it's gonna happen, that's very much a long shot, but a man can dream still, nonetheless. So we'll have Billy Black and Joel Deaton team up against Pete Roberts and Norman Smiley here. So yeah, we'll go with Joel Deaton over Norman Smiley. Norman is not a young lion, though, so that is the kind of thing to keep in mind, though, so maybe not. Let's see here, because Norman's pop is, like, in the 20s, and Pete's is pretty good, though. I know, never mind. Pete's is not good. Pete's, as far as, maybe not do that. Now I'm thinking about it. Let's go with an 8-man. As, let's go with Pete, with Norman, and then the British Bruisers. So kind of like Team UK in a way. Versus, if we can have the... Yeah, just... I guess the Super Generation Army would probably be for the best in this case, but we'll go with Kobashi, Kikuchi, and then... see what other guys we can use where it would kind of make sense. We can go with Jun Akiyama. And let's see. I was thinking Masao Inoue, but I don't think that's probably for the best. I'm going to go with Guess we could go with Masao if we really wanted to. It'd be kind of weird. So yeah, we'll just hang on to that for now. And we'll just go with, well, trying to, really around that time, as far as with 1992 All Japan, Johnny Ace had kind of teamed with some of the Super Generation guys. Not really like a mainstay, like, teaming up. So, maybe not that. I kind of want to just go with Masato Inoue, though, to be fair. Keep it with, like, the Young Lion era guys from this era. So, we'll probably go with that. Just go with Masato Inoue, and we'll give Pete Roberts a win over Masato Inoue. That would be set for Steal the Show, because, I mean, that's an okay matchup. Yeah, I still think that's a pretty solid, like, maybe not co-main, but just almost there level matchup. So, yeah, definitely now start booking kind of the higher up matches on this card if we can. It would just, make sense since we got basically our undercard already set. As let's just thinking of what we also can build for this. I think going back to another either 6-man or 8-man, having the Funks one side, Miracle Bonds Connection on the other side, and then we could either go with it would have been great to have Richard Slinger in this spot. But we could go with either... maybe the Eagle and Falcon. Maybe not, though. Go with the Renegade Warriors with the Miracle Bonds Connection. And then the Can-Am Express and the Fungs. Not the best thing in the world, but I think everybody's pretty good in this matchup, but the Youngbloods. Yeah, we'll go with... Fern. Actually, we'll go with Profit. Against, yeah, we'll go with just Chris. Yeah, I think that's gonna be better than that match. So we just need probably just a better main event and maybe another mid-card match, and I think that should be it. Actually, we could leave. Maybe not. Let's go with something a little bit better if we can. Let's see what we got. As far as Giant Baba, I kind of want to have Masawa and Baba team, but then it's like, well, who would Kawada team up with? And it kind of gets a little icky. We can go with Kawada and Stan Hansen, I guess. Just make the craziest tag team ever, and Stan Hansen and Toshiyuki Kawada. Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to go, maybe not 20, we'll have to go 16, maybe. Either way, Baba's gonna get gassed, but he's gonna take the fall, though, because we'll have Stan beat him. Well, actually, let's have Kawada beat him to help get his pop up a little higher. So we need to do something as far as building up for this Super Generation Army, kind of imploding match. We do need to change the time, I see, as we're already past it. Because, of course, we want to make it a 8-segment show. See what we have as far as tag teams that we can do. Yeah, let's see, we got Towie, and of course, Jumbo. We got the tag champs. Trying to think who could be. Dan Spivey would be good. We could go Johnny Ace, Dan Spivey. It's a little match for them to get a win, and, it's just nothing too crazy. We'll go 14, give Towie a win. Doesn't really matter who he pins. Maybe 14's a little too low. Let's bump it up to about... let's go with 18. And this could actually now be the co-main here. Alright. What a card. Do want to pick the venue. Oh, that's right. We already picked it as the Nagoya Congress Center. Alright. Save the show and run it. 30 to kick off the show as Firecat and Satoru Asako. Not enough pop, but at least, Firecat did, Brady Boone. Pretty good job there as far as the super kick. Oh no, we're at the Shinyon Women's Junior College. That's right. I was thinking we were somewhere in Nagoya, but no, we were there because that's as far as we could run the most amount of people where it makes sense for a sellout at least. 28 for Richard Slinger, and again, Boris Malenko being a ref. Didn't even think about it. Have to change that. Sooner rather than later, gotta make sure he is. Okay, Kyoe Wada is reffing that one. Boris. We'll go with Joe Higuchi. Kind of the rest don't really matter, so we'll just kind of run it. As Abdullah Butcher pinning Bobby Fulton. The Sudanese meat cleaver. As Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton obviously doing a really good job as far as performance-wise. Abdullah Butcher 47, John Kamalov with his injury. Wasn't going to do too well, but gets the win for Abdullah the Butcher, though, nonetheless. A 55 for this 8-man. As, and Norman with a 53, so that's awesome. Obviously, anytime I'm booking something in the late 80s, 90s, even probably the early 2000s, Norman Smiley is going to be on my roster. I love the man to death. And he did really, really well. I thought for sure he would be kind of low 40s, high 30s even. He exceeded my expectations. So that's awesome. Awesome. Pete Roberts gets the win in 10:32, and I thought he'd do pretty well since he's actually did like all Japan stuff in the past. But he did not. As a 60 though for Ogawa and Masatobu Fuchi against the Malenko brothers, as Masatobu Fuchi pinning Joe Malenko off the backdrop suplex. Pretty good stuff there. Masatobu Fuchi and Dean Malenko did about the same. Ogawa did a little better than Joe Malenko, so the right team won. 63 for this 8-man. And here I was a little nervous about it, but really everybody did really well. But, of course, Chris and Mark Youngblood of the Renegade Warriors, Dan Crawford tapping out Chris with the Cobra Clutch in 2020. As a 74 for Dr. Death, 73 for Terry Funk, 67 for Torrey Funk Jr., 63 for Doug Furness, 62 for Terry Gordy, and 60 for Dan Crawford. The 71 for the Jumbo Tsuruta Akira Taue versus Dan Spivey Johnny Ace match. Probably could have had this be for the tag belts if we really wanted to, but it just wouldn't have made any sense, as Taue pinning Dan Spivey with a dynamic bomb. And that's just funny, because obviously got one of the dynamic dudes in Johnny Ace on the other side. But yeah, pretty good team in Johnny Ace and Dan Spivey, the 58s. Just Jumbo obviously carrying the match for the most part. And the 78 main event for Masawa and Stan Hansen, Toshak Kawada, and Giant Baba in this tag match, as Kawada pinning Giant Baba for the Kawada driver. And 18-26, obviously Giant Baba was just dead by the end of it. But yeah, I mean, they did what I needed them to do, and that's Stan Hansen, Masawa, and even Kawada to an extent carrying Giant Baba to a really good performance. As yeah, sorry Dory Funk, but I know what I'm doing here, Dory Funk Jr. Don't worry about it. Not a bad way to start the tour, if I do say so myself. As it's funny, my whole kind of talking points going into this recording was like, yeah, we could talk about like the Chapin Carnival, and we could talk about like what's going on with that. I think it's Mark something, as far as it's the English commentator for Pro Wrestling Noah. He's Welsh, I do know that much, but yeah, and we already talked about that, so I'll have to get some more talking points here for night 2, so we get rocking and rolling, and hopefully everything goes well as far as nobody gets hurt or anything. So we just ran up. It was Chubu, I want to say. Oh, I guess not. Oh no, it was. I'm an idiot. I'm just not seeing it, I guess. As let's see. Here's some. Wow, there's again with only having the Hiroshima Sun Plaza. Yeah, not a whole lot of places we can run as far as for this tour, but we got the Wakayama Prefectural Gymnasium, though, for here in Osaka. And for this show, really the main thing, again, is try not to overdo things, though, at the same time. But I think I'm much better at throwing together, like, undercard stuff for just some weird reason. So I actually was thinking I should probably go with a tag match, go with Pete Roberts and Norman. If we can. Where the hell's Norman? Is he working elsewhere? Oh, yes, CMLL. Well, damn. Damn went that. I'll go with the 6-man now. We'll go with the British Bruisers and Pete Roberts. And let's go with Kenta Kobashi, Satoshi Kikuchi. And again, it's weird with the Super Generation Army, because now it's either like, well, we gotta go with either Masao or Kawada for this thing to make sense. Part of me wants to throw Jun Akiyama out there again, because he does become eventually a Super Generation Army member. So I don't mind doing stuff like this, where we kind of slowly bring him into the fold, if you will. And so let's see what we got. Takeo Mori debuts around this time too, so I must have missed him as far as in the other workers tab, so I can bring him in as well, because I want to say his debut is October of '92. We'll take a quick look after this episode. Alright, after this tour show. But we'll have Kobashi beat Pete Roberts. I know it's kind of a tough draw for Pete, but hey, you got your one win in your debut. Oh, forgot, we're not giving this a lot of time. Well, let's change that. I got a lot of faith in this. We'll give it 16 there. As really the thing with a lot of the undercard stuff at this time, it's a lot of just kind of the established older generation guys against the younger guys, so it's nothing too crazy really. Like Jun Izumaida, and then Satoru Asako can take on like Masao Inoue, or not we can take on Mighty Inoue and Mitsuya Momoto, like if we wanted to, just like an idea. Just to have, Mitsuya Momoto get a win. Here we go. Nice. So that's a first opener. We could have like 3, really, like undercard matches, really, for the most part. We kind of want to pump the brakes on the Gary Albright thing for a little bit, since he was kind of the main focus on the other card the last tour. As I'm trying to think who could... Yeah, Scott Armstrong. See who can beat him. Yeah, because like we got like Al Perez and a lot of guys we need to be kind of probably at the halfway point of this tour. We'll probably take out guys like Scott Armstrong and Al Perez, and now that we're bringing in like Candido and Norman and stuff like that, and still kind of bring in once we bring in Takeo Mori as well too. Just kind of keep it going. Yeah, we'll go with Rusher Kimura, I guess. Nice. I don't really have a lot of faith in that, so we'll just kind of keep it there. And the final one, we'll go with Al Perez. I should go with a 6-man. Probably will be Al Perez with Billy Black and Joel Deaton. Against the team of... We'll go with Bobby, Jackie, and Tommy Rogers. It's like the Fantastics. Makes a little sense. So we'll have Jackie beat Al Perez. Hopefully it's enough to make it work. As far as pop goes. Put it there. Actually, put it after the Young Lions match. So we're halfway there. All ready for this day. Kind of want to see what I know. I was just saying we want to stop with Gary Albright. I kind of want to see what happens if Stan and Gary team against Abdullah the Butcher, and we'll go with Giant Warrior this time. I guess we can make it a 6-man. Stan, Spivey, and Gary Albright against Abdullah, Giant Warrior, and then Giant Kamala. As I will have Gary Albright beat Giant Warrior. We'll have this one set for Steal the Show since Stan's in it. Yeah, probably could go after this, actually. Now for... I would like to see... As far as maybe potentially Dean versus Masanobu Fuchi. Maybe Masanobu Fuchi against Firecat for the first matchup, as far as to kind of prelude to get Masanobu Fuchi a little bit more on the normal side or even the warm side of momentum. Probably a little too much time, but hopefully it works out in the end. Trying to think what would be another kind of good idea to have as far as I was thinking Dr. Death, and we'll have Richard Slinger over here. Actually, Richard Slinger up top. Have Terry and Richard Slinger against Dr. Death, and then some type of, not exactly sure who, but some gaijin. Guess Candido. I mean, it's just kind of funny, but as far as it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but just to have Dr. Death and Candido as a team, which is very unique. I never would have thought that I would book this. But I guess it kind of makes sense since they just had their singles match as far as Candido and Slinger. So we'll have Terry beat Candido. I'm sure Chris Candido would love that, being in the getting a early 90s All Japan tournament in the match, with Terry Funk and Dr. Death, Steve Williams, would be pretty awesome. For a huge fan of the wrestling business, especially at that time. As, I guess it could probably go. I'm thinking about it. Should probably go here. But actually, maybe even a little lower on the card. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. Tough spot. We'll keep it there, I guess. And just really got to bank on Fuchi and Firecat doing well. I just know Terry Funk and Dr. Death will do their thing, and we'll go with it. Fuck it. I got faith. Got faith in it. As far as what we could do with, there's really not a whole lot we can throw for a main event that would make sense, I think. I was thinking maybe Dory Funk Jr. versus Johnny Ace in a singles match. I don't like doing singles matches for the most part, that when it's kind of like not necessary, but I think it's a good little match, and it's it has some implications as far as I want to say they were in that. Let's say they were in that 6-man on the last tour where Johnny Ace teamed up with Spivey and Hansen against Abby and the Funk. So give it 20. Dory Funk gets a win. Dory Funk Jr. And so then but it's a little different. But I think it's a pretty solid main event, and I think it's a pretty good co-main as well. And again, we gotta cut down 19 minutes, which we definitely won't do. We'll just pump that up to a 2-hour show. And see what we got. 36. Rusher Kimura slightly outperforming Scott Armstrong there in 10:02. As a 46, actually just remembered that, I was about to say we should probably check and see who is the ref. Okay, perfect. But if we kind of skimmed past the 46, that's okay, as Jackie Fulton pinning Al Perez with a fantastic flip in 12-18. A 55, though, so did a lot better. That's a pretty good six-man team, though, of basically the Fantastics, all versions, having Jackie and Bobby Fulton, and then Tommy Rogers as well. Really, really good. And Joel Deaton wasn't so great. Or actually, he was pretty solid. And 54, 47 for Billy Black, and Al Perez with 30, though, who was off his game. And pretty bad. Definitely will be out of a job as far as Jun Akiyama, Kenta Kobashi, and Tsuyoshi Kikuchi against Pete Roberts and the British Bruisers, as Kobashi with the Orange Crush on Pete Roberts in 1608. So yeah, Kenta Kobashi 66, Dynamite Kid 62, 56s for Johnny Smith and Tsuyoshi Kikuchi, 42 for Pete Roberts, and 33 for Jun Akiyama. 68. This did really well, as a lot of people off their game as far as Stan and Abdullah the Butcher, but obviously Stan was still far superior than everybody else in this matchup. But Gary Albright, second best guy in the match, as he pins Giant Warrior in 12-20. It's a 59 for Dan Spivey, and then 44s and 47s for Giant Warrior, Abdullah the Butcher, and Giant Kamala. Yep, had a lot. Oh, wait, that was Boris hurt that match. But still, it would have done about the same anyways. As Masato Fuchi with STF in 1546, getting the one with the STF. Over Firecat, put way too much faith in it. 69, though, for the tag of Richard Schlinger and Terry Funk against Dr. Death and Chris Candido. Terry Funk with the pile driver on Candido in 1552. Not bad at all. And then, in the main event, 73, as Dory Funk Jr. with the Texas Clover Leaf in 1953 over Johnny Ace. A lot of Gaijin heavy stuff as far as that main event, and really the top half of the card, really just Masato Fuchi beating Firecat was supposed to be the big kind of Japanese guy winning, but yeah, a lot of Gaijin stuff involved, which is, I mean, part of it is also the guys I've hired, but a lot of it is too, a lot of our Gaijins are just pretty fucking awesome, and Stan Hansen and Terry Funk and Steve Williams and even the British Bruisers. Just a lot of great guys involved there. Trying to think what's going on here. Is Dory Funk Jr. getting Pro Wrestling Fujiwara Gumi. Obviously it's basically what was the predecessor after the original UWF folded. So it's basically just UWFI, but there are a lot of great guys involved, and it's pretty awesome. I'm curious to see what this should is. Masakatsu Funaki beat Yoji Anjo, and then Nobuyuki Takada. Tarzan Goto, that's pretty interesting, but yeah, obviously Nobuyuki Takada in his element there, and Yoshiki Fujiwara beating Minoru Suzuki as well. But yeah, as far as, let's get Boris Malenko's fucking shit out of the way as far as getting him off his refereeing duties as we go to night 3 here. As one thing I will say that was pretty interesting as far as how this tour centered around Toshiaki Kawada, and I thought was pretty interesting, is he kind of, towards the latter half of the tour, kind of like days like 10, 11, 12, kind of all the way up until about 16, he would take like singles matches against kind of like Doug Furness, Johnny Smith, kind of not the top level guys, but just below that, and I thought that was like a really good idea for the most part. And also, Masawa faced Taue in like a non-title matchup, which I think is a pretty good idea as well. So maybe we'll kind of take something from that. As there's also a lot of Super Generation Army and Suruga main events, which I kind of harp in those. Like, you're probably gonna see a lot of those, but like, it really didn't dawn on me how many there were. Just as far as probably, it was like a 17-day tour, and probably 10 of them easily are either it's a tag or a 6-man of that, which is pretty funny. As far as from that perspective, I'm sure that's not. I'll try not to do that, but it will be pretty hard to not do that. But we'll try to stay away from that, as just to try to think of some more other points. Actually, there is some more updates of what happened. I do know, because the shirt that Kingston was wearing, it's made by a podcast group, and that podcast group, because of the backlash, were just like, hey, we're going to take it down. But then they re-uploaded it, but it was like a better design. It's like pretty cool. Like, they're all like color coordinated, and it's a fun looking shirt. Like, it's a shirt that if I was not like didn't know it was a Japanese Pro shirt, I'd still be like, wow, it's a pretty interesting shirt. Like, what's it all about? But yeah, that's and also because of I think all this upload, I just or because of all the uproar about it, I just got a email that someone bought that Four Pillars design on a T-shirt. So that was pretty cool. That is just kind of weird that I was just talking about it, and then I get a notification about it. As trying to think what else we can talk about. Oh, I do know as far as what's going on with people's podcasting. What are you listening to out there in the world? Out there watching this video. As far as for me right now, I kind of I'm weird about podcasts where I'll just binge it for a while and then I'll just jump off it. Right now, recently, it's the Always Sunny podcast. I just God bless those. I mean, just what a love that show to death, and to be able to have a podcast where they're not talking about it has just been fantastic. I have been going back with Between the Sheets. I think that's one of the best kind of wrestling podcasts where it's done by fans that I really, really enjoy. Even though they're like 6 hours long, I trying to usually it takes like 2 or 3 sessions, but it's fun to listen to, especially when it's like time periods where I'm either booking or have like enjoyed in the past and kind of stuff like that. Like they just did 2003 March, like the first week of March, so they talked about like the Masawa Kobashi match a little bit and kind of stuff that's going on in Japanese press. That's always fun because a lot of that kind of time period I didn't know, like as far as the internet's kind of perspective on it and stuff like that from that time period, because I was not following the product during that time, so that it's very cool. But as far as trying to think who Chris Candido should face here to open up this tour, I don't want to throw him. I think kind of Firecat might be our best bet, to be honest, here. There's Candido and Firecat. Give it 10 minutes. Nice. Nice. As far as that goes, I will say also, too, I just made a letterbox account. That was fun. For years, I've been holding that off, just being like, man, it'd be so long to get all the movies and TV shows and documentaries that I've seen, throw them all in, just kind of track them all that I've watched. And it is pretty nuts to think that I've seen, I think the number was over 700, and that seems like a lot for someone who's only 26 years old, but what can I say? I think really that number went up by so much because of the streaming era that we're in now. It's just so much easier to view stuff. But man, just a lot of great stuff out there as far as from that perspective. I really do believe in the kind of media boom that is as far as streaming services and just documentaries and movies and TV shows and in movies in general. As far as now, I think a lot of steam is being added. As far as the Batman coming out recently, that was a lot of fun. Had a blast. The Mad Dog refused to go. She saw it was a 3-hour runtime and she said, "Fuck that." But I could thank all my years of Japanese pro wrestling to prepare me for that moment. It's like a 3-hour film. That's a walk in the park. I don't mind that one bit. And yeah, we'll have Garobar beat Jun Izumaida. That's easy pickings. That was the weird thing about that, because that movie was fantastic, but just after that 3 hours, I was just like, man, I want more. Like, I was just like, I didn't want it to end. I'm so excited for the second one, and I hope the direction they go in kind of continues what they built, because, man, I want to say it's my favorite, but it's just so hard to top The Dark Knight. It really is just like a perfect Batman, as far as not only just a perfect Batman movie, it's literally one of the best films like ever, I think, just from perspective of a lot of some of the cinematography in that just entire movie, and also because Christopher Nolan's a genius, but obviously Heath Ledger's performance is like goat worthy as far as supporting actors go. Part of me has kind of grown to like it's really just his movie which is, God bless him, it's a phenomenal performance, but like that Batman that just came out, it really is like a collective. From a collective standpoint, they really did a tremendous job. Like the whole cast, I felt like really delivered in a big way, and I think that says a lot. And the direction, it was the first time I felt like, as a fan of Batman from the comics, from television, from the animated stuff, from movies, of course, video games even, but the Arkham games, where it was the first Gotham that I just did not want any part of. Like, just like, it just was so disgusting of a venue. Or not really a venue, just of a city. It's funny they filmed that in Glasgow, or not, I don't think it was in Glasgow, but it was somewhere in Scotland, which is just, shout out Scotland. I mean, that was, I hope you guys don't take a huge hit on that, because it was such a filthy place, as we're going to have Mitsuya Momoto and Haruka Aijin as far as another matchup to have. But yeah, I mean, a lot going on as far as from that perspective of the Batman. Everyone, I think, super excited that saw it. And trying to think what else we could talk about here. We're already kind of running out of topics again to talk about. As far as we should probably just focus on the actual booking aspect of the show. I will want to see a Dynamite Kid D Malenko match. So I think that'd be a lot of fun. It's actually maybe see how Masanobuchi. Okay, so Masanobuchi's still a little bit. So Dean and Dynamite Kid. It's tough because maybe not. Maybe because I think maybe instead of that, do Kobashi and have let's go with Johnny Smith and and Kenta Kobashi, and we'll have Kobashi beat Johnny Smith. Give it 16. This could be a little something different to do. And we can also do the singles match as far as Dynamite Kid and Tsuyoshi Kikuchi, which will have Dynamite Kid win and beat Tsuyoshi Kikuchi, which I don't know. I'm thinking about. Oh no, I think it's fine. Dynamite Kid's got better pop. I think it's for the best there. Let's see, 18 Dynamite Kid getting the win. Oh, I had a feeling that might happen because he was basically towards the end of his run, really, as far as his peak. So yeah, we'll make it 13. We'll have it steal the show though. As here we go, like that. Yeah, I mean, maybe bump it down a little bit. 11 minutes, see if that will. Yeah, I figured it wasn't gonna fix anything, but that's okay. Something in the middle there, as far as or at least have a 6-man of Jumbo Tsuruta, Masabuchi, and Akira Taue. We'll go with Stan, Johnny Ace. I'm trying to think of what junior guy we can use. I guess Al Perez seems, or we could either go Richard Slinger if we want. Richard Slinger's kind of interchangeable, I think, as far as with the as far as from that regard. And then we can have a singles match between the two. I like that. I like that. We could maybe go with somebody else, though, just to kind of take a look. See who could make sense. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything. I see Norman's still not here, which bums me out, but that's okay. We can go with maybe Bobby Fulton if we really wanted to. Yeah, we'll go with Bobby. Nah, let's keep Richard Slinger, I guess. And we'll have Fuchi beat Slinger. Oh, we have Jumbo. Let's beat Fuchi. Not a bad main event. Not a bad main event at all. So yeah, we just need kind of stuff like maybe a match as the co-main. I don't know, I have a really good feeling about Kenta Kobashi and Johnny Smith. So maybe a match in the middle there and another match here. Probably tag matches since we've had a lot of singles matches. As, let's see what we got. Yeah, Abdullah the Butcher and Giant Kamala against the Can-Am Express. Of course, the Can-Am Express getting the win. We'll have Furnace get the win. And the next one, we'll go with Andre and Giant Baba. Yeah, Mighty Inoue, Masao Inoue. And either Andre or Giant Baba can beat Masao Inoue. Give it like 8 minutes. We'll give it to Andre, I guess. Might as well. Wow, 8 minutes is still not enough. So for Giant Baba. Jesus. As, yeah, I got faith in it, though. I got faith in it. 3 minutes. We could probably cut 3 minutes out of something, to be honest. Guess off this. Make it 11. And then we'll just cut 1 minute off this to make it a 7-minute tag match. That's still not enough. Holy shit. It's for stamina. So I don't think I picked a venue. Oh, no, no, I did. I'm an idiot. I don't know why I thought I didn't. Okay, let's run the show. 34 as Firecat against Chris Candido as Brady Boone. Again, 48-38, not bad at all. I mean, Candido's kind of growing pretty fast, which makes sense. As Brady Boone with the super kick in 9:41. 52 for Gary Albright over Jun Izumaida. Gary Albright with a 64. 39 for Mitsuya Momoto and Ruka Aijin. Wow, I thought I had a little bit more faith in this match, but that makes sense. Especially with Gary Albright being involved. Probably should have been a little bit higher there. 41 for the Andre the Giant Baba versus Masao Inoue, Maida Inoue, as Andre the Giant with a double underhook suplex, the butterfly suplex, if you will. Yeah, cooled the crowd a little even more. Maida Inoue, best guy in the match. That's not a great sign. 54, though, for Dynamite Kid and Tsuyoshi Kikuchi, which Dynamite Kid was visibly tired towards the end of it, but the diving headbutt for Dynamite Kid at 11:30. 55 for Abdul the Butcher and Giant Kamala against the Can-Am Express, as Doug Furnace with the Frankensteiner. And 10:41 on Giant Kamala. I would pay all the money in the world to see Giant Kamala take that spot. As obviously the Can-Am Express being awesome. 56, though, for Johnny Smith against Kobashi. Not the greatest of co-mains. I thought Kobashi could be in the 60s, which he could have been. He was off his game, though, so Johnny Smith probably should have won, but yeah, that would have been wild. It's a nice match, though. I think it was a good little match. 71 main event, though, so at least that's all that matters. Stan Hansen with an 88. Jimbo with an 81. 57s for Masamu Fuchi and Johnny Ace. 69, though, for Kira Taue. Nice. And Richard Slinger with a 51. Yeah, I mean, we kind of got saved by that main event for sure, which is happening a lot. But we're still early on in the series. Probably should have flipped that, obviously. And this would have been a little bit more cohesive, but I'm fine with it. So on to night 4 here, and see what's going on with... trying to think what else we could do as far as... I'm still been holding off the Dynamite Kid Masamu Fuchi match, but I think it's going to be coming. I think it's only a matter of time. Or at least maybe do... Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. I think we're on this night 4 show. We gotta... FNW changed their production. Curious how we're doing money-wise. Oh, 67,000 ahead. Not a great sign, but hopefully we kind of stay ahead, because we need it. Since we lost 100 grand last month. Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna have to... we can run here, I guess, next. Because, yeah, there's... 2,000. Let's go with that Dean Malenko Masamu Fuchi match. Hopefully he is now... he's got neutral. Good enough for me. Nice. Dean Malenko with the win. I think that's a nice little cap to that one. Because I don't think they've... Besides the tag match, I don't think they've done anything else. Don't think that's going to be the main, but it's probably going to be the co-main, though. Is Norman finally here? No. Is Norman just working? I mean, how many CMLL matches or shows can you run back to back to back? Fucking Christ. But we'll go with the Bruce Bruisers again with Pete Roberts against Jun Akiyama, Tsuyoshi Kikuchi, and Ken Kobashi. Run this back. First time around, as far as we had Pete Roberts, Norman Smiley, and the Bridge. Oh, so that's right. We Jun Akiyama, Ken Kobashi, and Kikuchi won the first time around. This time, we'll give it to Johnny Smith and Dynamite Kid as well. Johnny beat Jun Akiyama. Maybe not slow build. Maybe just I got faith in it. At least keep it at 16. So Joe, as far as what he could do, since we got Dean in the singles, we could have Joe and Firecat have a match, or him and Richard Slinger. Either way, I think we're gonna go with Joe though. As 12 minutes, we'll have it be set for Steal the Show, and we'll have Joe get the win. I'm waiting for the Takeo Omori signing. I know it's been 2 days back to back, but very much hoping for that to fall into play. I think for a main event, think Stan with Spivey and Gary Albright. I don't know why we're throwing Gary Albright in the top spot, but we'll have against Giant Baba, Andre the Giant, and Jumbo Tsuruta. Kind of a big time, meeting of the minds here as far as with Jumbo teaming up with Giant Baba and Andre the Giant. As we'll have Jumbo beat Gary Albright. Kind of put that fire out just temporarily. He's been on a roll, and I think if we keep on having him beat guys, he'll have to be like getting a title match soon, which I love Gary Albright, but I just don't think it's time just yet. So, yeah, even though Andre and Giant Baba are going to stink up the joint, I still think it should be a pretty good match here. Hopefully, barring anything drastic there. So yeah, we got our main, we got a co-main. I don't think this is the night. Okay, that's right. I think it's night 6 where, yeah, we do Terry Gordy and Terry Funk. So we'll wait a little bit on that. We could do, as far as a 6-man maybe. That's a little too good. Let's go with the tag though. We'll go with Abdullah Butcher and Giant Kamala against Joel Deaton and Billy Black. As well have Joel Deaton and Billy Black get the win now. As well, Joel Deaton beat Giant Kamala. Nice. We'll have the Great Kabuki beat Al Perez. Which I want to say we've done this before, yeah? Yeah, at the last episode, got a 46. Fine by me to run this again. You're going to see a lot of return matches as far as in this series. That is for sure. Yeah, I think that it should be right there. So yeah, we just need, honestly, I'm cool with 2 more undercard matches and then we're ready to go. So we'll see what we got as far as Satoru Asako. Who would probably be... I was thinking Isamu Teranishi or Ruka Aijin. Because I don't think we've done this before. No, we have. It was last episode. We got a 38. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be about the same here, but... what can you do? What can you do as Ruka Aijin? Pretty much will have to be Dory Funk Jr. Oh, we got to change the time. Alrighty. Alright. So, and then with June, I was thinking maybe a 6-man in the opener. Just to kind of change it up. We'll have June Izumaida, Mighty Inoue with Masaho Inoue against the Fantastics. So we'll go with Tommy. Let's go Tommy, and Bobby and Jackie. Fulton, there we go. I mean, should be able to carry him in this matchup, I think, for sure. We'll let Bobby Fulton get the win, as he can beat Jun Izumaida. Yeah, I mean, I got a little bit more faith in this match. Yeah, night 4. Let's run it. 38. Again, as Ruka Aijin, Satoru Asako, pretty close on the in-ring performance lines as 38-36. Not good. 51, though, for this matchup, as the Fantastics beating Mighty Inoue, Masato Inoue, and Jun Izumaida, as Bobby Fulton with the Fantastic Flip in 10-14. Which, Jackie, Bobby, and Tommy, 59s, 57, 56s, not bad at all. And Maida Inoue, the 47, 29 and 21 for Jun Izumaida and Masao Inoue, who were both off their games. One was, Masao Inoue was seemed off his game, but then Jun Izumaida was really off his game. You saw there with a 21 in ring performance. 47 for the Great Kabuki and Alvarez, so probably shouldn't have been, should have flipped it, but I thought two established guys could have gotten it done, but Kabuki, though, with a thrust kick in 10:30, though. It was a 48 for Abdul the Butcher and Giant Kamala against Joel Deaton and Billy Black, as Joel Deaton beating Giant Kamala after the Bulldog. So, yeah, Joel Deaton, best guy in the match, followed by Abdul the Butcher, then Billy Black, and then obviously Giant Kamala with a 42. Wow, not enough pop between these two. That's interesting. I thought for sure they would have enough, as Joe Malenko beating Firecat with the Tiger Driver in 12:03. Pretty awesome, though. As far as our junior division, we're trying to piece it together. Is it going to be rivaling what New Japan's going to do in like the mid-90s? We hope so. Hope so. It's a 60 though for this six-man of again with Jun Akiyama, Kenta Kobashi, and Tsuyoshi Kikuchi against Pete Roberts and the British Bruisers, as Johnny Smith pinning Jun Akiyama after the Death Valley Bomb in 16-19. So yeah, some good stuff here with Kobashi being the best guy, followed by Dynamite Kid. Or actually, followed by Johnny Smith, then Dynamite Kid, and then Tsuyoshi Kikuchi, Pete Roberts, and then Jun Akiyama there. 63 for Dean Malenko and Masato Fuchi. I don't know what else was going on. I just had a stroke midway through trying to pronounce that. As Dean Malenko getting the win with a Texas Clover Leaf in 2006. Good stuff there from Dean. So 65 for our main event. Not quite that 70 mark, but still pretty good. As yeah, Andre and Baba were blowing up. Giant Baba was a little bit off his game. Not enough selling shown as well from this matchup, which makes sense. Looking at those six guys, it's like, well, who would actually be the one to sell here? But, yeah, I mean, Stan Hansen, 86, 78 for Jumbo, 64 for Gary Albright, 57 for Dan Spivey, 43 for Baba, and then 30 for Andre the Giant there. 63, you know, it is what it is. It's not going to light the world on fire. I had a lot more faith in this. I thought for sure the pop would be enough, but it wasn't. But that's okay. Still was an okay show. Not the greatest, but it got us through. It got us through the show without no one getting hurt, at least. It's going to be interesting, though. Now we're finally kind of, you know, we're still in the early stages of the tour, but we're out of the blocks, if that makes sense. You know, we're getting into a little bit what our ideology is and what we're trying to do. Now we got Takeo Mori to add another young lion to the mix. That'd be nice. As on to day 5 we go. Alright, so this is the kind of the first of the two kind of singles matches where we're going to have Dory Funk Jr. versus Dr. Death, and then, of course, the next night, Terry Funk and Terry Gordy. So those will probably be the main events. I don't see how they're not going to be. We're going to run this show in Hiroshima, because we kind of have to, even though we'll definitely be, you know, over capacity, or under capacity, rather, but it is what it is. Just kind of sucks, because I just feel like we need more venues here, and it's going to be tough to kind of look that up, because we'll kind of have to use, like, cage matches, more of, like, a reference, probably, than anything. And so, yeah, Dr. Death is set as the road agent. We'll have that be Giant Baba. That's a pretty good main event, though. As far as what we can do with Terry Funk and Terry Gordy, we could do something as far as Terry Funk with... I mean, it kind of would have been cool to see as far as maybe Terry Funk with either Dean, Malenko, and then like have Dr. Death team, or have Terry Gordy rather team with Yoshinori Gao, but I just don't think it's going to make sense. So, I don't really think that's a good idea, but I'll just kind of see what it looks like, because someone's got to lose is kind of the thing with that match. And that's kind of the one thing I'm kind of hitting as far as the wall there. So we'll go with Terry Funk. Oh, went the wrong way. Terry Funk and Richard Slinger against Terry Gordy. Then we've got to think of a guy to use for the Terry Gordy side. That would make sense. I guess I was thinking as far as either Al Perez... Yeah, probably Al Perez, to be honest. So we can we'll give it 16, and we'll have Richard Slinger actually beat Al Perez. To get that out. Oh, that's right. We had it as 16, so That would be slow build. That probably won't be the co-main, but for now, that's a pretty good match. As I do want to see Pete Robertson Norman. They could take on Mighty and Masao Noe. I want to say we didn't do this. Okay, I was just making sure. Bump that down to 10. We'll have Norman beat Masao Noe. Call it a day. You know, that seems pretty solid as far as for an undercard matchup. Yeah, we'll have another one as far as having Jun Izumaida. Yeah, but I mean, we also have now Takeo Mori now, so we should probably get him involved. As far as who he should face, that is a good question. Very, very good question. I was thinking Dan Spivey. There we go. Dan can beat Takeo Mori. Alright, so we just need one more undercard match. Now we can have Jun Izumaida. We'll go with Giant Warrior, I guess. It's not going to be the greatest thing in the world, but gets the show off to a start. Albeit not a great start, but that's the undercard for you. I just want to... Okay, it's just still wanting us to steal the show. We'll probably have to change the time, but for now we'll keep it rolling. As I really think for a kind of co-main event setting, doing Mitsuo Amasawa. See, yeah, we'll go with Kikuchi and Kobashi. And then have Kawada. This is a really good match now I'm thinking about it, because we could do Kawada. And then... Well, no. Because we're short a person. Because we could do Kawada with Jun Akiyama and then someone from that side. But I'm not exactly sure. Now that I'm thinking about it. We could go with Baba, I guess. That's, you know, always a tried and true. Even though it's not really going to work, I think, in this setting. We'll have Jun Akiyama and then try to think of it. It sucks because Ogawa would have made a lot of sense there. Obviously, he's Saruta gun, so just... It's tough. Tough. Let's see here. Someone we could use. We're just a guy away to making a 6-man. It making sense for kind of like fringe, having Super Generation Army guys, but also having, you know, Jun Akiyama and somebody else. Would make sense to have Takeo more if you want to have. No, it isn't gonna work. It's not gonna work. We will keep that 6-man though. But we're gonna go with the British Bruisers. And then Kobashi and Kikuchi, but this time different singles guys. This time going with Dean, and then have Ogawa, so it kind of makes sense. As far as champs and challengers and that whole deal. But we're gonna have... I was thinking of having Kobashi beat Ogawa, and I'm gonna go with it. It's going to be interesting having the champ lose like that, but I think it's still a pretty good idea. I think that's a better co-main. Maybe I could be wrong, but I just feel like I have a lot more faith in that. Just with Al Perez's performance, but it might be close either way. Yeah, I mean, now I think we got our main, we got a co-main. Again, not really doing Kawada Masawa stuff. We could do like a Kawada match to build up, you know, kind of having, and maybe we'll save that for a little bit later on. I think is really the goal there. So we'll try to think of a Joe Malenko match we can do. So I was thinking, as far as, let's see who's left here. There's like guys, there's some really good guys still. Obviously we got the Fuchi Joe Malenko match happening later on, so we can't do that. We can do him and Candido. Have Joe win. Gave it 12, but, we'll bump it down a little bit to 10. Yeah, it's interesting as far as putting probably a little too much faith in that match. Yeah, because I think Dan Spivey and Takeo Mori is really going to be pretty solid. So we'll bump that up too. So we got 3 undercards, a couple of tags. We just need one more match. We'll go with another tag. As we'll go with the Renegade Warriors against the Eagle and the Falcon. As well, the Renegade Warriors actually win. As we'll have Mark beat Scott Armstrong. Not great, but hopefully it's enough pop to where it won't be too bad. It was Scott Armstrong. They have most of the ref. I'm trying to think, it's just probably time. Yeah. Oh, Steel Show match 2. I guess we'll have it be this. I guess. Guess it could be that. Yeah, we'll put it there. Change the length here to 2, and now we're good to go for this show here. Yeah, 39. It's Giant Warrior with a powerbomb in 10-14. Got a 32 or another 32 here. Is Joe Malenko, Chris Candido. Would have been pretty good had their pop been there. So that's nice. But Joe Malenko gets the one, 931. 46 for Dan Spivey and Takeo Boy. That makes sense, as Dan Spivey with the Spivey Spike in 1001. 47 for Masao Inoue and Mighty Inoue against Pete Roberts and Norman Smiley. Actually did pretty well there, as Norman getting the win there with the Norman Conquest in 1008. Way to go, Norman. Best guy in the match. 44 for the Eagle and the Falcon against the Renegade Warriors. Yeah, I should have won with my gut there. Because Jackie did well, but Chris and Mark was off his game, Scott was off his game. It was just a shit show. But Mark Youngblood with Diving Tomahawk in 12:35. So 59 for Terry Gordy and Al Perez against Terry Funk and Richard Slinger. As Richard Slinger with a thrust kick in 15:33. 64 though for the 6th man here, as Ogawa with Bruce Bruisers against Dean Malenko and Kobashi and Kikuchi. It's Kenta Kobashi pinning Yoshinari Ogawa with the Brainbuster. So Kobashi, best guy in the match, makes sense. Then Dean. We got Johnny Smith, Dynamite Kid, Tsuyoshi Kikuchi, and then Ogawa rounding up the group as the worst guy in the match, as Dynamite Kid and Ogawa really off their games as well. Then the 66 main event was hoping to be a little bit better. Dory Funk Jr. being off his game a little bit hurt it, but I'm assuming that's physical, and all that. Actually, just a cold crowd, not let alone a declining physical ability. So that sucks. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be a good enough card, just with kind of how we matched together, but they disagreed. That's alright, though. We didn't, it's a tour show. It's not that big of a deal. So now, on to day 6. So now we got our, Terry Gordy, Terry Funk match. We'll get some more things cooking, I'm sure, but hopefully everything goes well with this tour and nobody gets hurt. Alright, so they got us in Corkin. So I don't mind. I think we'll be able to run it with this show, with having Terry Gordy and Terry Funk in a singles match. They give it 20, Terry Funk getting the win over Terry Gordy. Makes sense, since Doc beat Dory. As if we can, do something again like that, we're having Dory Funk in Dr. Death. As well, Dory with Richard Slinger, and then Dr. Death with Al Perez again. Maybe somebody else though, maybe Firecat. Just to change, just for the visual of that, have Dr. Death and Firecat on the same team. And Slinger's going to get the win again. He's going to beat Firecat. It's pretty big. Again, Dr. Death is always scheduled as the road agent every time we get that going. So I do want to have Kawada, just, the first kind of run of guys he can beat. we'll start kind of on the lower end and work his way up, type of thing. So the first match, I think Johnny Ace would probably be a great start for him. Maybe Kabuki, though. Maybe kind of work from there. Go Kabuki, Johnny Ace, one of either Furnace or Crawford, and then just kind of keep on going up. So yeah, we'll do that. Kabuki and Kawada will keep at 18, as Kawada will be getting the win, of course. Nice. Nice. So yeah, and then I think as far as the tag goes, I kind of want to see what Jumbo and Andre could do as a team. As taking on Abdullah the Butcher and Giant Kamala. Like 10 minutes, Jumbo can get the win, and, you know, all is well, type of thing. Yeah, Abdullah can take the fall. That's okay. So yeah, I think a lot of things can now just kind of be the undercard. As I do want to see just one match as far as Satoru Asako and Jun Akiyama. Have them go a time limit draw. 10 minutes. Nice. So just, you know, a little Young Lion match. Then I'd like to see Takeo Omori team with Jun Izumaida or Masato Noe. I guess we'll go with Masato Noe, actually. And we'll just kind of see who we can... Yeah, Joel Deaton and Billy Black. Just kind of makes sense. 12 minutes. As, I will go with Billy Black, I guess. He can beat whichever one, to be honest. We'll bump it down to 10, actually. And, let's see. So, probably Pete Roberts again is by himself. Norman's got quite the schedule on his hands, you know, as far as going from Japan to Mexico back and forth like that. I do want to see Pete Roberts and Chris Candido. Candido's already doing pretty well just from the start. It's going to help him out having a match here in Kanto. He's not going to be like, you know, in the 10s already by the end of the tour. Maybe, though. Maybe. I didn't really think about it, but he definitely has a good shot. So now we just need our Steal the Show match. Which, I was thinking as far as what we could do, as far as regarding that. We could either do the Can-Am Express, as far as, like, maybe, teaming up against, like, Taue and Fuchi, like, something like that. Just an idea. And having Taue get a win. It doesn't matter which one. Just something different, you know. Yeah, 12 minutes, we'll just change that to that. Alright, I mean, I feel like we're kind of getting our groove. Especially now, but I think this is a pretty good show. All things considered, we'll see. If, I'm correct here, yeah. Yeah, Young Lion match. Oh, we had a slow belt nominated. That's my bad there, but Satoru Asako did outperform him, which I figured so, but not bad at all between Young Lions. As far as performance-wise, the match rating, who gives a shit? I'm just all about the in-ring performance, see where we can build going forward, as Joel Deaton and Billy Black beat Takeo Omori and Masato Noe, as Billy Black pinning Takeo Omori after the pile driver at 9:39, or 9:36 rather. So 51, 45, and 30s for the Young Lions. Cooled the crowd a little. Yeah, this one definitely cooled it even more, as Pete Roberts didn't have enough pop for this one, but he gets the win, though, at 9:56. Actually, pretty close. Candido almost outperformed him, so that's not a great sign for Pete Roberts as far as his tenure with the company. It's a 55 for Abdullah the Butcher and Giant Kamala against Jumbo Tsuruta and Andre the Giant, as Jumbo pinning Abdullah the Butcher with a backdrop suplex in 10-10. Obviously, Jumbo doing his thing. Lack of selling again. But Jumbo being Jumbo. As a 62 for the Can-Am Express against Akira Taue and Masato Fuji. Pretty good match, though. Got the crowd buzzing, at least. So there we go. As the Can-Am Express losing to Akira Taue and Masato Fuji. As Taue with the dynamic bomb on Dan Crawford. 14-25. So yeah, we got our 64s from Taue and Furnace, which is pretty awesome. 62 for Crawford, and then 56 for Masato Fuji. So 71 for Dory Funk Jr. Richard Slinger against Dr. Death in Firecap, as Richard Slinger pinning Firecat with a thrust kick in 16-19. So yeah, really good stuff. Firecat, not really on the same level as Richard Slinger, but pretty close though. Just Dr. Death being the man though, really. And that's 73 for Kawada and Great Kabuki, as Kawada with the Kawada driver in 1735. That's awesome. And that's 73 main event as well, as Terry Funk dragging Terry Gordy to the finish of this one. It's 20 minutes. Terry Funk with the pile driver getting the win. The superior Terry and Terry Funk. It's a really good show, though. I was really happy how that played out. Even though the Pete Roberts-Chris Candido match really shot us in the foot, but luckily the Taue Fuji Can-Am Express match did really well, and we just can have a really good show. And Kawada's first singles match I thought was a success, so we can kind of, maybe not this next one, but the following one, we'll give him Johnny Ace, and then, keep on building and building. We could also do Masao and Kawada kind of teaming still, have them take on Stan Hansen, Stan Hansen and Johnny Ace potentially kind of in the future. Just an idea. So I'm just kind of curious what's going on in the world. As, on to night 7 here. Oh, perfect. This is not that night. So, yeah, it's night 8. That's right. So, yeah, we could do Kawada and Johnny Ace. Perfect. And then, we'll do the tag matches, the co-main. Perfect. So, yeah, Kawada, Johnny Ace. Could be the main event, but we'll keep it as the co-main. As we could do a 6-man though, as Masawa with Kenta Kobashi and Tsuyoshi Kikuchi. Then we'll have Hansen, which makes sense since that's who Masawa beat 2 tours ago. So that's kind of cool as far as building, as far as using that, and then of course the British Bruisers. So I just feel like that's a perfect kind of main that we could do from that perspective. We'll have Masawa beat Dynamite Kid, though. Well, obviously keep the champ strong. And Dynamite Kid has pretty good pop, 70s, so I think it's a good start there. Really. I'm just going to let it be, to be honest. You know what? We can keep him strong. It's not a huge deal. Not a huge deal. I think that's a pretty good main event, though. As far as what we can do as kind of the match before that, though, I do like having a Sarutogun matchup. So, Jumbo, Taue, and Fuji here. So, kind of fuck that all up. There we go. Against the... It's tough as far as picking which guys they could face, though. Because I was thinking maybe we could do Ogawa. So, alright, so we could do Ogawa instead. And have the Malenko brothers. And we could go with either Terry Funk. Terry Funk would probably make sense. The most, sense that we could make out of this, I think. As, we'll have Ogawa beat Joe, actually. Just to kind of get Ogawa something. Some good spirit, some good faith there. We got a pretty good card, I think, already, just with those 3 matches. I'm not sure we're going to run the show, because I think running Corkin again might be a mistake. Just kind of think where else we can run the show. I guess we'll go here to the Nakajima Sports Center. Just kind of pray more than anything there. But I'm trying to think what else we can run. Miracle Vine's connection. Maybe not. We'll give them a break. Let's exclude people that's booked just for this time period. So yeah, we'll go with the Fantastics and Jackie Fulton as well. Yeah, we'll go with Abdullah, Giant Kamala, and Giant Warrior. Just something a little different. 10 minutes. But yeah, Abby can beat. Unfortunately, we'll be beating Jackie Fulton. Just a little. I thought about maybe doing this a steal the show match. Let's just do it. Fuck it. I feel bad for the Fantastics and Jackie Fulton because, like, they are going to outperform that team 1,000%. It's a damn shame. As I do want to see, because Richard Slinger has been kind of doing pretty well for himself recently, so we'll have him take on Masato Fuchi. Give it 16 and Fuchi get the win. Could have probably saved that for another day, but that's alright. That's fine. We'll make it work. So yeah, we'll put it there. So now we could basically do kind of like undercard stuff. We'll have the Great Kabuki. Actually, let's think of a 6-man. We'll have the Great Kabuki team up with the Renegade Warriors. The face paint fellas, if you will, on Team 1. And we'll go with Joel Deaton, Billy Black, and Al Perez, I guess. Kind of an undercard matchup. Because I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with Mark and Chris Youngblood. Because I think they have some assets as far as a team that can lose. But definitely Al Perez is done after this tour. Like 1,000%, it's done. And I want to change a lot what this roster is going to look like. You know, because we're bringing in a lot of guys. You know, we got Candido now. And I think Candido's already doing better than Al Perez has done. I think it just needs a change. A massive change, I think. It is really needed. As well, have Takeo Mori and Jun Akiyama. See what they can do. As, trying to think what's a team they can... Yeah, I guess Cameron Express is fine. 10 minutes. We'll go with Furnace, I guess. Nice. Then the opener. Singles match. Gary Albright versus Jun Izumida. Go back to, actually Satoru. Pete Roberts. Poor 46-year-old Pete Roberts about to get destroyed by Gary Albright. Yeah, welcome to the Gary Albright tour again. Because he's great. It's Gary Albright. Can't help myself. It's day, or night 7. I keep on saying day. It's a bit of a, I wouldn't say, it's a bad habit, I guess, more than anything. As Gary Albright gets the win in 10:05. 62 for Gary Albright, 41 for Pete Roberts. So 56 for the K-Man Express against Jun Akiyama and Takeo Mori. So yeah, K-Man Express doing their thing. It's Duck Furnace with the Frankensteiner in 10:22. So 50 for Al Perez with Joel Deaton and Billy Black against Great Kabuki and the Renegade Warriors as Mark Youngblood beating Al Perez with the Diving Tomahawk. Because yeah, Al Perez with 30, he's just the shits. Let's keep it going. 57 for Giant Warrior, Abdullah the Butcher, and Giant Kamala. As, yeah, I mean, that actually did pretty good. I mean, Abdullah with a 50, 49 for Giant Warrior, 43 for Giant Kamala. Not the greatest thing in the world, but it somehow got the crowd buzzing, thanks to really the Fantastics. And, Bobby, Jackie, and Tommy all, in the 50 range. It's really great. Bobby Fulton was almost in the 60s. As Abdullah Butcher with the Sudan meat cleaver. So they don't click, which sucks between Masato Fuchi and Richard Slinger, but Fuchi, though, with the STF in 1542, so I'm glad we didn't have this as, like, a higher match on the card. The 74, though, for the Saruda Goon versus Terry Funk and the Malenko Brothers, definitely could have been a main event, especially with how long this tour is going to be. That probably been a great main event to have. But Okawa pinning Joe Malenko in 1943, though, as Jumbo with the 78, 75 for Terry, Dean with the 66, 63 for Taue, 57 for Okawa, and then 50 for Joe Malenko. Got the crowd hotter, at least, as Johnny Ace and Toshak Kawada actually did pretty well as the Kawada Crab in 2001 for Toshak Kawada in 2001. 75 main event, though. What a top 3. As Masawa pinning Dynamite Kid with a Tiger Driver. as Stan Hansen with an 86, 76 for Mitsuha Masawa, as 69 for Kenta Kobashi, 60 for Dynamite Kid, 57 for Yoshi Kikuchi, and 56 for Johnny Smith. Probably gonna have Johnny take the fall there, and not been a huge deal, but with Dynamite Kid, it's always a hassle as far as is he gonna perform or not. Really good show though. Again, we're really hitting our stride. As we know what our main event for day 8 is going to be, though, in the Funks versus the Miracle Violence Connection for that #1 contendership of the All Japan World Unified World Tag Team titles. So that should be fun, and we'll see what else we can cook up there for that day 8 show. As I'm just kind of curious to see how New Japan's doing, because they have so much more money, and I'm just assuming they're going to be doing a whole lot better. Yeah, 77 and 85 there with Inoki and Shinya Hashimoto against Riki Chosu and Tatsumi Fujinami. That sucks. It's, yeah, and the 93 there with Choshu and Tenryu. I was wanting to sign Tenryu, but he is still pissed at Giant Bob, and he didn't want to sign with us. So that just kind of sucked. I want to say that. Yeah, I mean, he's just, still pissed at Baba, so just couldn't do anything about that. So yeah, I mean, that's why New Japan's probably going to kick our butt for a good bit until we finally get rocking and rolling. If we ever get off the ground at this rate, it's going to be tough. Going to be tough. But yeah, here we go for day 8 here. Yeah, the guy's back in Corkin, and I don't really want to. Let's go somewhere else, because we've kind of went everywhere we can, at least in October, so we're going to go back to this woman's junior college. Funks, Miracle Violence Connection, with Terry beating Dory again. Maybe this time we'll have Dr. Death take the fall. And we could do like a singles match between Doc and Terry. Which we're throwing away a lot of great singles matches on this card, but like, what else are we gonna do? We're kind of just stuck in no man's land, really. But we'll go back with Masawa and Kobashi and Kikuchi. And so we'll have TEW and the Malenko brothers. So again, we're kind of, carrying that, or yeah, I guess the British Bruisers, rather, to continue that story some more. Thought about, I guess we could do it. We could do TEW, Jumbo, and we could go with Ogawa. Yeah, might as well. Surprised we've not done this. Because this is basically a staple for a lot of for 1992, 1993, main events. It would be this combination. This is kind of the best combination you can really have. As far as it making sense, as far as matching up with people. I guess Kawada, really, if you went with Kawada instead of Kikuchi, then instead of Ogawa having Baba as far as maybe star power, but this is really good too. But again, we're going to go with Masawa getting a win. As again, with poor Ogawa taking the fall. Thought about Jumbo. Maybe Jumbo should take the fall. We can go with, actually, let's go with TEW. Let's give TEW a win over Kobashi, which then leads to having a singles match between Masawa. So, Masawa's just like, hey, listen, I'm not going to beat my buddy like that. And we could keep on going with Kawada, having singles matches, but we'll give him a break. Give him a break for now. See if Norman's back. No, he's not. So we can go with a 6-man. British Bruisers with Pete against Hanson, Spivey, and Johnny Ace. So we'll go with, there we go. Bit one-sided. Just a bit. I'll give it 16, and yeah, we'll have Johnny Ace beat Pete Roberts. So I already got our top 3 again. Much prefer that instead of trying to scramble for after we make an undercard. makes things a little bit more easier, as Isamu Teranishi will throw him out there. It's been a while. He can take on Candido, I guess. Give it 8, and Teranishi, fortunately, getting the win. Oh, that's right. It's more in the 6-minute range for Teranishi. How could I forget? Let's go with the 6-man. Mighty Inoue, Masao Inoue, and Mitsuya Yamamoto. And let's see who we could use. Let's go Joel Deaton, Billy Black, Gary Albright. Give it 12, Gary Albright over Masao Inoue. But, continuing this destruction tour of Gary Albright. So I think it's because Gary's involved, and there's a lot of good guys involved in this match. Mainly just Gary, but Joel Deaton's at least in the 50s, but I think it's going to be better than that match for sure. So we just kind of need, really, probably one more mid-card match. Well, honestly, we could probably do 2 undercard matches, make it 6 and 7, and then, one more mid-card match. So, as far as, we'll go with Jun Izumaida, and then Matosho Okuma. I mean, it's not going to be the greatest match, but again, we just kind of have to throw him out there. As far as maybe a mid-card match, maybe doing something as far as Okuma, or not Okuma, jeez, 6 minutes again for Okuma, that's right. So yeah, it's just going to be 6-minute openers, back-to-back like that. This is kind of more on like the mid-card side, but having Andre and Giant Baba, trying to think who could be. I was thinking Rusher Kimura and Haruka Aijin. It's all shit. This is terrible, but it's gonna get the job done, as Baba can get the win, I guess. As always, Haruka Aijin's the Red Agent. Yeah, this is not great. This is not great at all. And to at least get something across here, I think Takeo Mori. Takeo Mori is so goddamn big that sometimes it's tough to really get him an opponent. Thinking Abdullah the Butcher. It's just since he's a little cooled. So yeah, Abby's back to 10 as well. Oh, Jesus Christ. Half this roster can't even fucking work past 10 minutes, so we're just continually shooting ourselves in the foot. As more time passes on, as yeah, we just gotta change time, and I think that's it, because I think we have a Steal the Show match. Well, I guess not. I thought for sure we did. I guess it's gonna be this match, because that's the only really match I trust. Just want to make sure I picked a venue, that's right. 32 for the opener is Akuma with a headbutt. Cooled the crowd a little, no surprise. Another 32, as, Candido outperformed him. I'm not surprised at all. Candido's already doing tremendous, which is no surprise. Of course, Candido's the man. Definitely is going to be an added guide for Junior Division 2. Like, he's already better than Al Perez, and Al Perez already had a tour before him. So 34 for Abdullah Butcher and Takeo Mori. So Abdullah was, tired, but he gets the one with the Sundanese meat cleaver. In 10-11. And another 32 as Rusher Kimura with a whiplash neck strain. I'm surprised Giant Baba at least got into the 40s. Very, very surprised. I mean, this was just a shit show as Giant Baba pinning Rusher Kimura. I'm assuming after a big boot off the ropes. The 50 thank you, Gary Albright, as definitely the signing of the year for, I mean, he's almost in the 70s already, as Gary Albright tapping out Masada Inoue in 12-19, 65 for the 6-minute of Pete Roberts with the British Bruisers against Dan Spivey, Stan Hansen, Johnny Ace. Johnny Ace pitting Pete Roberts for the Ace Crusher in 15:38. There, Stan Hansen again with an 83, tremendous. Johnny Ace with a 60, 59 for Dynamite Kid and Dan Spivey, which they're friends too in real life, so that's it's nice to see them on the tour. For at least from that perspective, 57 for Johnny Smith and Pete Roberts with 44. 69 for the Super Generation Army versus Rudagun matchup, so that's interesting, mainly because of Ogawa and Kikuchi, as the Surudagun team beating the Super Generation Army team, as Taue pitting Kenta Kobashi after the Dynamic Bomb in 1946. It's a great win for Akira Taue. It's just 1 point below Kobashi. Masao with a 67 is very disheartening. That's scary. Our champion being in the 60s. 82 for Jumbo Tsuruta, and then 60s for Kikuchi and Ogawa. There's an 80, though, for our main event. Thank fucking Christ, as Dr. Death and Terry Gordy of the Miracle Violence Connection, thanks to their chemistry bonus and tag team specialists as well, they outperformed them, but I still think the Funk's getting the win was the right decision, as Terry Funk with the spinning toe on Dr. Death. That's hilarious, but that's a fun match, though. Fun match for sure. So yeah, 76, we got saved by that main event, that's for sure. I just realized we had one more extra match than we needed to. I don't know why we, oh no, we had 8. I don't know why I was thinking there was only 7. No, we had 8. Yeah, I mean, we somehow managed with that main event, that's for sure. And so we're getting better. You could tell we're getting better. A month in. It's definitely starting to click. It sucks that our starting point was kind of in an awkward spot of like halfway through a tour. That sucked, but it is what it is. We'll make it work, though, I think, when it's all said and done. Ken Shamrock taking an MMA fight. St. Anson, Johnny Smith getting shit on. As Dynamite Kid. Dory Funk Jr. has no charisma. Jesus. Dynamite Kid, harsh takes on Dory Funk Jr. Oh, Masawa's got big morale issues. What's going on with Masawa? Oh, he's the pressure being the figurehead. Jesus Christ. Didn't even see that. So, boy, that's not good. We'll have to figure out what we're going to do with that as we keep it rolling here. Hopefully we could save Masawa's morale. Alright, so with Masawa's morale issues, really because of him being the figurehead. So I figured out, I don't know why I didn't see this at the beginning, because I might have showed the screen at the beginning of the series, but it says he's been the figurehead for a year. I forgot to edit that as far as once we, moved this database up to September. Basically, it shouldn't even be a month, but that's as short as we could make it, and that's what it would have been. But at least he's very close to being a potential figurehead. He's got good star quality, good charisma, and he's over. It's just he's perceived, I guess he's not perceived as a major star, which is interesting. So we'll have to, make sure he's a little bit more over than Terry Funk, Stan Hansen, and Jumbo Tsuruta, which should be easily done. But hopefully, and with this night, specifically, we're going to have him take on Taue to just kind of start that off. And he's going to have some singles matches throughout this tour as well to really get him going. As Kawada, I was brought before Wrestler's Court, accused of moaning about stuff all the time, just being Debbie Downer, bumming everyone else out. This is the judge, Stan Hansen, found him guilty and sentenced him to shut up or cheer up. And 2 bite drinks thrown after the show. Alright. So I think Taue Masawa is going to be the main. Because I don't know though. Now I'm thinking about it. Because the Funks, Jumbo and Fuchi, I know Jumbo's going to do really well. Same thing for Terry. And yeah, I'm going to go with Taue though and Masawa. I got to. As Masawa's going to beat Taue there in 20. And then the Funks versus Jumbo and Masawa Fuchi. And Jumbo Tsuruta as Dory Funk Jr. is going to pin Masawa Fuchi there. So we got that rocking and rolling. And really, as far as for the rest of the tour, it's kind of looked like this. So day 10, Toshio Kawada is going to take on Tommy Rogers. Day 12, Masao's going to take on Masato Fuchi. And then 13, Kawada is going to take on Furnace. 14, Masao's going to take on Dan Spivey. And then we'll eventually get there to the end of the tour. Just as far as that's what's looking like going into the rest of the days here. but to kind of harken back to what we could build towards, I think, going forward. Really, I would like to maybe see just some singles matches with Dynamite Kid and Tsuyoshi Kikuchi. Because I'll say, yeah, we did this night 3 just to kind of bring this back on night 9 here. Just a bit of a rematch. We might go the other way with this. We might go Kenta Kobashi, Dynamite Kid, just to change it up a little bit. Because I'm pretty sure, yeah, let's say, I don't think we've done that. Give it 16. Kobashi over Dynamite Kid. And then Johnny Smith can beat Tsuyoshi Kikuchi. So I will keep Dynamite Kid strong, I guess. Sucks that he's still... just the, the stamina is just a big issue for us in this save, as Tsuyoshi Kikuchi and Johnny Smith. Johnny Smith could use the pop boost, because he's done really well. Set at 14, Johnny Smith getting the win. Nice. So I want something in the middle there. Probably another tag match. Since that seems to be our bread and butter. But since we have Pete Roberts and Norman Smiley, let's have them team up. Trying to think who could be... I think of the Fantastics, just having them win. Could also go Eagle and the Falcon and Norman and... Because I think we've done this before, yeah. No, we haven't. Never mind. Yeah, give it 15, and Norman's got to beat Scott Armstrong. Maybe have that... Actually, let's have that be below that. I'm trying to think of who we could have team with Gary Albright to kind of... So I was thinking Dan Spivey and Gary Albright against I was thinking Joel Deaton and Billy Black, since their momentum's kind of more on the warm side now. As Gary Albright beating Joel Deaton. Nice. So yeah, now we just need 2 more undercard matches and we're good to go. That's a fast little card we put together. It's Takeo Omori and Terry Gordy. Since Terry's kind of getting worse and worse, it seems like, as time has progressed. Just in the short time I ran this save. And for the next one, Uncle June. Oh, Jun Akiyama. And Dean Malenko. We'll probably flip this and this, and obviously change the time. There we go. Oh yeah, we should probably change venue as well. I guess at Kanto. We haven't been there since night 6, but I still want to hang off for as long as I can. So I guess probably Osaka, since we haven't ran there since night 2. Which also, him being the figurehead and Masawa, we didn't really highlight it, but he's actually bringing the business down. 25% when he appears, and 25% less merchandise being sold overall. So we're going to keep on trying as far as... Once we get Masawa a little bit more over, I think it's going to work. So instead of just removing him, we'll keep him there and just hope it works. Just sucks because it shouldn't really... It should still be calculating, because he should technically still be a new figurehead, but because it's accidentally set for a year, it's all fucked up and I can't edit it, so we're just kind of fucked. But we'll see how this show goes here, as the opener, Terry Gordy to KM actually did pretty well. 53 is Terry Gordy with the backdrop driver, 943. 57 for Dean Malenko and Jun Akiyama, as Dean Malenko with the Texas Clover Leaf in 1013. See, he's almost in the 70s. It's good stuff, as 49 for the Eagle and the Falcon against Norman Smiley and Pete Roberts, as Norman with the Norman Conquest over Scott Armstrong in 1329. Yeah, I mean, Jackie Fulton was the best guy, but Norman with the 50, 42 for Pete Roberts and 38 for Scott Armstrong. 61 here for Johnny Smith and Tsuyoshi Kikuchi, as Johnny Smith with the Death Valley Bomb. 1351, got the crowd buzzing. So, alright, we got a pretty good show here. 64 for Dan Spivey and Gary Albright against Joel Deaton and Billy Black, as Gary Albright. Forgot to add his finishers. I got, because he basically did like a full Nelson or a Dragon Suplex, if you want to call it that. Because I think they called it a full Nelson Suplex for some reason. Because I don't think, pretty sure that's what they called it. But either way, it's basically the same thing. Belly to belly suplex, and then like his secondary finishers, like a powerbomb and STF. 60 though for Dynamite Kid and Kenta Kobashi, as they were both, as Kobashi was off his game, Dynamite Kid got a little tired towards the end. A little bit too much faith in it, but Kenta Kobashi got the win and he outperformed, so that's all that really matters. In the end, as an 80 though for the Funks and Jumbo Tsuruta Masamu Chi, as Dory Funk Jr. with the Texas Clover Leaf in 2020 over Masamu Chi. So yeah, he's the worst guy in the match, so this makes sense. He takes the fall there. 75 for our main event, as Masao and Taue got good chemistry. That makes sense. As Masao with the Tiger Driver in 1943, as I thought it was going to be enough, but I was wrong. But that's okay. It was still a pretty good match, and I think a pretty good main event for a tour show, especially. As yeah, everything went pretty well there. So we're now 9 nights in. 10 shows in as far as this episode goes, since we did the anniversary show. Now we can go on to night 10 here. It's little over halfway now, especially, so that's great. Hopefully we get everything rocking and rolling here. And it's yeah, okay, we're good on that. As Masao Inoue getting a UWFI contract. How fun. But yeah, Masao again with the morale issues. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the one thing about it, him being angry at it. It's eventually gonna be a tipping point, I think. And it's costing us money for sure, because we're now in the negatives because of trying to get him back from morale. So we might have to just end up removing him. It just kind of is what it is there. But we'll get it going here for this 10th day. As we see what we got. Tommy Rogers and Kawada. So I don't think that's going to be the main. Probably a co-main, but it could be a pretty good match, though. Is Kawada going to get the win in 18? As far as what I want the main to be, thinking a 6-man of going back to Saruda-gun, as we'll have Masawa with, let's think of the Funks against Kiritawe, Kiritawe, Jumbo Tsuruta, and then I guess we'll go with either for Chi or Ogawa, but we'll probably go with Chi for this one, because it just kind of makes the most sense. As I will have Jumbo beat Dory there. Nice. Pretty good main event, though. So I don't think we've done this before. We might have, though. Wow. So that's a really good main event, I think. As far as what we can do with Ogawa, it's an interesting spot. But I think we could do something as far as a 6-man with, we'll go Andre the Giant, Giant Baba, and Ogawa against the Malenko brothers. Now it's tough to decide who's going to be this, I was thinking Hansen. That would kind of make the most sense, I guess, for it to be, this good of a match. Bump it down to about 10. As we'll have Hansen beat Baba. Pretty good stuff, though, as far as getting Stan Hansen involved. We'll just keep it open. We won't let him go all out. No big deal. So we'll, that's probably for the best, you know, with any Giant Bob Andre the Giant match. Just don't have him go all out. It's no big deal. It's a tour show. Trying to think what else we could do as far as building up to the Miracle Vines Candyman Express match. We can go with a 6-man. And go Richard Slinger and Firecat. We'll have this one steal the show, though. As we'll have Firecat beat Richard Slinger. Keep on having them trading wins throughout this tour. We'll keep that going. So, Dr. Death's the road agent. There we go. So, I mean, this probably should be better. I don't know, though, at the same time, because Stan's going to be involved in it. And the Malenko brothers, too. I mean, so it should be a pretty okay matchup. So, we'll keep it there. That could be the top 4. So, we'll go with our bottom 4 now. As, let's see what we got. So, we got Kabuki. And let's see. Guess we'll go with him and Candido. I don't think we've done this before. This is another card matchup. Kabuki, of course, getting the win. Let's go with Teranishi and Omori. We won't have that one be all out. We'll just leave it open. See if Teranishi can work a 10-minute match. Still can't, even without being all out. Great. We'll just leave it 10 and just say fuck it. As I'm trying to think what else we could do as far as undercard stuff. Because I was thinking Mighty Inoue and Mitsuya Momoto against the Renegade Warriors. Because I don't think we've done this before, yeah. We have not. As we'll go with Mighty Inoue, I guess. It's tough, because they do about the same. We did get rid of Al Perez. But the Renegade Warriors will probably be next on the chopping block. Probably after the Tag League. Because they'll be a good, like, undercard tag team to have on that. On the Tag League. So there we go. We just need one more match here. Let's go with another tag. If we can. Abdullah the Butcher. John Kamala. Kendo Kobashi and Sayoshi Kikuchi. Non-title matchup. 12 minutes. Kobashi over Abby. Get his pop up a little bit. Could have probably put it for the belts, but unnecessary. Pretty unnecessary. I guess we'll keep it there. We need to make everything 2 hours, so I know that much. Oh yeah, we gotta pick the venue. Yeah, I guess we'll go back to the Hiroshima Sun Plaza. I guess. On the show. Ooh, a 19. Great. Fantastic. As Samu Teranishi with the Power Slam as he did worse than Takeo Mori. Gotta love it. Barely able to continue the match in 9 minutes. So bad. So 45 for the Great Kabuki and Chris Candido as Kabuki with the thrust kick at 9:37. 44 for the Renegade Warriors and Mighty Inoue and Mitsuya Momoto as Mighty Inoue pinning Chris Youngblood after the steamroller. So yeah, Mitsuya Momoto did a little bit better. So probably should add him one, but that's okay. It's a 58 for Tsuyoshi Kikuchi and Gina Kobashi against Abdullah the Butcher and Giant Kamala. Gina Kobashi with the Orange Crush on Abdullah the Butcher. Holy shit. As Gina Kobashi would need a whole new spine if he was to hit Abdullah the Butcher with the Orange Crush. Jesus Christ. As Richard Slinger in the Miracle Vines Connection against Firecat in the K-Man Express as Firecat with the super kick on Richard Slinger in 12-17. Yeah, Dr. Death did really well. 78-65 for Duck Furnace. 64 for Terry Gordy and Dan Groffett. It's 53 for Richard Slinger. 51 for Firecat. Pretty close there between the two, as not enough selling shown in this next matchup, but it's still a 65. Stan Hansen pinning Giant Bob off the Lariat. Stan with a 91. That's crazy. As 65 for Dean Malenko, 58 for Yoshinari Ogawa, 49 for Joe, 45 for Bob, and then 32 for Andre the Giant. 69 for Tommy Rogers and Toshiaki Kawada. It's Kawada with the Kawada Crab in 1734 over Tommy Rogers. Good rating, though, for Toshiaki Kawada, that's for sure. And an 81 for our main event, as Masao's morale is just dragging his in-ring performance down so much. Jumbo Tsuruta pinning Dory Funk Jr. with the backdrop suplex in 1938. Really good match, though, thanks to mostly Jumbo and Dory Funk. It's a 69s, though, for Taue and Dory Funk Jr. I mean, Masao was one of the worst guys in the match. Maybe we should get rid of him as the figurehead, since it's just all fucked up anyways. Instead of trying to persevere and keep it going, we're just kind of shooting ourselves in the foot more than anything. It looks like, so probably have to get rid of him as the figurehead. It sucks, but just kind of is what it is. Is what it is. Is Kikuchi getting some good opinions on him? Firecat's is getting destroyed by Masawa. All is well. So on to night 11 we go. Alright. So we just reset it. So basically we took him away, then put him back as the figurehead. Since it's going to take a year, because that's usually how long it takes to establish that role. So I think it's... hopefully it'll work out. It cost us $100,000, but hopefully we'll be able to make that money back with our final show here of the tour. Hopefully. Fingers fucking crossed. Bobby Fulton helped create a fun and relaxed atmosphere after finding a discarded karaoke machine. Way to go, Bobby Fulton. As for this show, we don't have anything pre-booked, so that's nice. But yeah, we could see already just how much of an impact it had on business. So probably the right decision there, just to reset that. We'll see what we got as far as where we can run next, because I think, yeah, it's probably Kyushu is probably our next bet. Yeah, I mean, it'll be fine. It'll be fine, I guess. It's not a big issue. His morale is annoyed, so it's not quite perfect, but we'll get it there, I believe. As I love how Masawa said as a color commentator, he's got 2 color commentating skills, so we should get rid of that too while we're here. And on-screen personality, probably. It's a mess. It's a goddamn mess dealing with that. So I was thinking of having Masawa and Kawada team again, just to kind of keep them kind of coming apart at the seams a little bit as far as the anticipation for that title matchup. They're not full on like turned on each other or anything, but it's the intensity has been amplified a little bit in these main events. As far as who they should face, that's a good question. It is a very, very good question. Because I was honestly thinking Kobashi and Kikuchi, but I don't. At the same time, I don't think that's a good idea. I think Andre and Giant Baba would kind of be interesting. Like 10 minutes. Masawa can beat Andre just to help up his pop, and it's not going to be great, but it's going to get the job done, I think, in what we're trying to do, of course. Maybe 8 minutes. Maybe that won't be the actual main, but it would be close to the main. So I was thinking of having Terry Funk and Jomo Saruda as a main. That'd be pretty awesome. Have him go 30, time limit draw. You know, keep it simple like that. I did see somebody said in the comments section of the New Japan video that if you just leave it as a draw and you want to have like a count out or DQ, if you just leave it as draw, it won't give you a penalty, which I'm not sure if that's true or not. If that is, that's gotta be the dumbest fucking thing that Adam Ryland could ever do for this game. Talk about being just a piece of shit. Like, how could... Like, it just sucks that in a product like this, where, especially at that time, double countouts and, like... And just countouts in general were a main factor of tour shows. It just was what it was. You know, that's how it was. It was a way to keep guys strong and help them book through a tour without hurting their morale or hurting their momentum and popularity. Like, it just kept everybody strong leading up to the big show. So to not be able to do that, because you know if you try to do that in the main event, it's going to hurt your show and it's going to hurt the product, just fucking sucks. Just wish that could be changed. As someone who books Japanese pro wrestling companies, it makes things a hell of a lot harder to do, and just really takes out the realism factor too. So that just sucks. But as far as maybe not a singles match, we'll go with a tag. I'd go with Stan Hansen and thinking Stan and Spivey. Maybe Stan and Johnny Ace, since we haven't done that in a while. We'll go Mighty Inoue and Mitsuya Momoto. Give it like 16. Johnny Ace can get the win. A little Ace Crusher action. I mean, it's probably going to do better than... As Mighty Inoue's the ref. It's probably going to do better than that match. But we'll keep it where it's at for now. Tag match, though. Let's go Dory Funk Jr. and Joe Malenko. And then Masanobu Fuchi and Taue. We'll keep it 18. We'll have Fuchi beat Joe Malenko, since we kind of trade that back and forth. Nice. So we definitely have our top matches, that's for sure. I actually want to switch this and this. Perfect. As far as what else we could do... no, definitely, you know, a Young Lions matchup. Candido again. This time over Richard Slinger. At this rate, you know, Richard Slinger and Firecat should probably be like a singles match on the final show, just the way we've been building it up, but we'll keep it going with having the opener beat Jun Akiyama and the Great Kabuki. See what else we can do as far as Junichi Maeda in the Great Kabuki. So we haven't done this before. 10 minutes as Kabuki getting the win. So I don't know why I just thought about this, but another podcast I listened to that I forgot to talk about is Tony Hawk's and Jason Ellis's Hawk versus Wolf. Just that's a nice little throwback to a time period where I just completely forgot about, and not really forgot about, but just have a lot of nostalgia for, and just like and skateboarding from that, basically from my era, the late 90s or early 2000s. But also they talk about some stuff from the 80s as well, the early 90s. So it's just really cool from that perspective. They had like Rodney Mullen and Bucky Lasek on the show. It was just it's pretty awesome for somebody who grew up in like the early era of like X Games and the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, and it's just really, really cool. But as far as some more on the card matches, to get back to All Japan here, and that was a weird transition, but I would like to have Ogawa team with somebody. I'm not exactly sure who, but I was thinking Ogawa and a young lion. We'll go with Takeo Omori, and then Dean with. I guess we'll go with Omori over there. Now let's trying to think. We'll just go the other way with it. We'll keep, and then we'll have Jun Akiyama and Dean Malenko on this side. As Ogawa can beat Jun Akiyama. There we go. One more match here as... Thinking of Gary Albright's singles match. Trying to think who he could realistically have a match with. Oh, we got Asako too. I completely forgot about that. As far as maybe have him destroy Pete Roberts. It's an idea. Or we can go with a 6-man of Johnny Smith, Dynamite Kid, Pete Roberts against Brooke Aijin, Rusher Kimura, and I guess Isamu Teranishi. Seven minutes is fine. Pete Roberts can beat Teranishi. All is well. So, Kaijin. Perfect. We'll actually put it there because I just don't have faith in it. Oh no, we're good. We just gotta change the time again to 2 hours. So we need to steal the show match. That's right. I mean, I guess it could be this if we really wanted it to. Let's bump it down and. Yeah, and all that's going to automatically be added, so no sense of making it. So run the show. It's a 30 for Richard Slinger, Chris Candido. Richard Slinger being off his game actually got outperformed by Chris Candido, so that's awesome. As Richard Slinger beating Candido with a thrust kick at 9:48. It's a 40 for Kabuki and Jun Izumaida, as Kabuki with a thrust kick in 9:56. A lot of thrust kicks so far on the undercard is 49. For Rukai-jin, Rusher Kimura, and Isamu Teranishi against Pete Roberts, Pete Roberts and the British Bruisers, as Pete Roberts pinning Isamu Teranishi in 6:37. Yeah, Isamu Teranishi, 6 minutes, almost dead. Hilarious. 20 minutes, 20 in-ring performance, as Pete Roberts with a 43-61 for Dynamite Kid, 59 for Johnny Smith. 52 for Dean Malenko and Jun Akiyama against Takeo Omori and Yoshinari Ogawa. So Ogawa tapping on Jun Akiyama in 10:03. So yeah, Dean Malenko and Yoshinari Ogawa, 64s, 58s, 32s, and 31s for Takeo Omori and Jun Akiyama. 65 for Stan Hansen and Johnny Ace against Mighty Inoue and Mitsuya Yamamoto, as Johnny Ace pinning Mitsuya Yamamoto with the Ace Crusher in 13:46. Yeah, Stan Hansen at 81. 60 for Johnny Ace, 46 for Mamoto, 44 for Mighty Inoue. Another 65 for Dory Funk Jr. and Joe Malenko against Akira Taue and Masato Fuji. Fuji tapping out Joe Malenko with SDF in 18:23. So yeah, Dory Funk Jr., Masato Fuji, and Akira Taue all in the 60s. Joe Malenko the 47. 59 for Giant Bob and Andre the Giant against Toshiaki Kawada and Mitsuya Masawa. It's Kawada Masawa have great chemistry. That's awesome. As Kawada actually outperformed Masawa thanks to him being off his game, as Masawa with a Tiger Driver on Andre the Giant. Holy shit. Get a whole new back for Masawa there, as that's a big guy to be picking up for a Tiger Driver. It sucks that Baba sprained his ankle, but hopefully he'll be ready to go before the final show. Jumbo Tsuruta and Terry Funk go to a 30-minute time limit draw. As Jumbo with getting out the better in-ring performance, but still really good match. Got the crowd out for that main event, so that's awesome. Really saved the show. Shout out Jumbo Tsuruta and Terry Funk. So we're almost in the 80s, though, so that's nice. But we're still a little ways away. I'm sure if we did, like, Stan Hansen and Jumbo Tsuruta matches throughout the entire tour as, like, main events, it would definitely work. And hopefully everything goes well, with it'd take about a week for him to recover, so hopefully he'll be good enough to go, because I want to say it's basically a week away. We'll take a look. Oh, 6 days, perfect. Works for me. As we keep it going. Johnny Smith getting a pro wrestling Gumi offer. So Takayama taking an MMA fight. That's awesome. Boy, oh boy, keep it rolling now. As the Masawa Fuji matchup. Trying to think where else we can run the show at. So I know we just kind of ran, kind of silently relatively soon. I guess Corkin would make sense, but I'd like to keep that for the final show. So I guess we're gonna go back to this. Well, we could go with the Kyushu General Gymnasium now, at least. Thank Christ. We have that as a 20-minute main event for Masawa, getting the win over Masawa Fuji. As I would like to see Kawada and Kobashi team, just to kind of see where they're at. Kawada and Kobashi against, I guess we could go with the British Bruisers if we want to. Dynamite Kid and Johnny Smith. Another 20 minutes as Kawada over Dynamite Kid. Yeah, it's gonna be a bit irritated, but I guess we'll keep him strong some more. Nothing more I can really ask for is Kirisa Masawa's morale is still just annoyed, so that's a good sign that it's not bothering him anymore. As far as what else we can do, I was thinking Dory Funk Jr. Kiritawe as like the co-main, but we could also save that for the next night here, as for night 13 for that main event. But trying to think what else we could do as far as any other type of top billing matchup. Gonna go back to the 6-man with Miracle Violence Connection and KMAM Express. It's Dr. Death, David Gordy. And we'll go with, I was thinking either Jackie Fulton or, I guess we'll go with Jackie, I guess. And then for the Can-Am Express, guy that would be teaming up with them, actually, we'd probably go up here. I was thinking either one of the Youngbloods or even a Young Lion, even potentially, even Gary Albright. Yeah, let's go Gary. It's just not even fair. Let's at least throw Giant Warrior on that other side, so it's a little bit more even footing. As we'll have Furnace. Be Giant Warrior there. There we go. I mean, that's a nice little 6-man matchup. So now, as far as what we can do with Andre, I don't want to get him injured too, so part of me wants to just kind of lay off a little bit. But I am thinking of doing a Young Lion tag match, so Satoru Asako with Takeo Mori against Masato Noe and Jun Akiyama. 15-minute time limit draw. It's gonna suck, but it is what it is. Young Lions are gonna Young Lion. Gotta open up the show. And then as far as some more undercard matches, thinking Kabuki with Jun Izumaida against, thinking the Youngbloods, or the Renegade Warriors rather instead. Could also go with the Eagle and the Falcon, or even just the Joel Deaton Billy Black team. Just kind of curious to see who could use some good momentum their way. Honestly, Bobby Fulton could. Go with that. It's Bobby over Jun Izumaida. Nice. Bump that up, obviously. Another undercard match, and then two kind of mid-card, lower mid-card matchups, and we'll probably be good to go. As far as what else we can do with the undercard, we could do Firecat and Richard Slinger on this card, which Richard Slinger won on the last tour. This time, Firecat can get the win. That'd be set for Steal the Show. Sorry, Richard Slinger. Can't really work long matches. It's gotta be 10. Boy, oh boy. Let's see what else we got. As far as, maybe Jan Kamala and Russia Kimura. This match is gonna suck. But Jan Kamala getting the win. He could use it. And another one. As far as a tag. Joel Deaton and Billy Black against Spivey and Johnny Ace. Keep it 14 and Danny Spivey against Billy Black. Getting the win over Billy Black there, as I'm assuming we haven't done that before. Good shit. Put it there. Alright. So, I don't have faith in that, obviously, Fire Coverage Slinger match. I bumped that up. Again, putting it back to 2 hours. And let's run the show. So, 20. At least Satoru Asako's in the 40s. So that's a good sign. For him. Everybody else obviously still a ways away in the Young Lion stage. Sanoe was seething after the match as he was upset that Satoru Asako almost injured him in the match with a botch move. His Firecat did outperform Richard Slinger there, so it makes sense. I mean, this match would be pretty good if they were over enough, but Firecat with a super kick at 9:31. 45 for the Fantastics against Jun Izumaida and the Great Kabuki is Bobby Fulton now with some chronic lower back pain. That's just great. Pretty good match, but Jun Izumaida. It's Bobby Fulton with the fantastic flip over Jun Izumaida, 9:43. And it was Jun Izumaida who caused it. Just great. Swisher Kimura losing to Giant Kamala with Air Africa at 9:57. So yeah, terrible match. 53 for Johnny Ace and Dan Spivey against Joel Deaton and Billy Black. Spivey and Ace getting the win as the Spivey Spike in 14:24. Pretty good match, though. 59s for Spivey and Ace. 51 for Joel Deaton and 47 for Billy Black. It's a 65 for Gary Albright and the Can-Am Express against the Miracle Violence Connection and Giant Warrior, as Giant Warrior being really off his game just wasn't even close. I mean, Gary Albright was the second best guy in the match. Did better than Terry Gordy, which a Dr. Death Gary Albright tag team would have been pretty insane. That would have been pretty awesome. It's Doug Furness beating Giant Warrior with the Frankensteiner. Again, seeing Giant Warrior take that spot would be pretty comical. Because that's a big fucking guy to be taken, the Frankensteiner. It's a 58 here for Dynamite Kid and Johnny Smith against the Super Generation Army of Kawada and Kobashi, as Kawada and Kobashi beat the British Bruisers, Kawada pinning Dynamite Kid with Kawada Driver. So yeah, Kawada best guy in the match, then Kobashi, then Dynamite Kid, then Johnny Smith. They did pretty well thanks to the chemistry boost, but obviously the previous match did a lot better. As a 65 main event, as Masawa pinning Masanobu Fuchi after the Tiger Driver at 9:39. Yeah, I mean, did okay. just did okay. Yeah, but luckily, nobody seriously got hurt. I mean, the chronic lower back pain would suck to deal with, but hopefully everything gets squared away by the time we get into 1993. I mean, they probably will, hopefully, they'll be able to still do pretty well in the tag league, because they probably would have been a pretty focal point in the tag team, but we could also use Jackie instead. So it's not too bad. It's going to take a few months, looks like, to heal, so that sucks. But on to night 13, and we'll add, Gary Albart's finishers and whatnot now, once we advance to this day. And they got us in Corkin again. They keep on wanting us to run there. It's Billy Black again brought forth to Wrestler's Court as accused of failing to pick up a share of the tab of the shared rental car, and the judge, Stan Hansen, found him guilty and sentenced to pay the full cost and reimburse his travel partners. Billy Black, you piece of shit. As Doug Furnace, Toshio Kawada, definitely going to be probably a co-main match, but I really like that. It might even be a main, because Kawada's been doing like 70s. Furnace has been fringe kind of 70s. I mean, not a bad idea, but we'll keep it there for now. As again, we're trying to not run Korakuen. So it's back to the Nakajima Sports Center. See what we got as far as matches that we could do. Because, I mean, we are coming up on the end. We've somehow made a cohesive tour out of this. We haven't been too far off the wall with some of our matches we've done. As I think really the big thing that I would like to see, really, is I'm thinking of either doing a tag of the Malenko brothers, because we did that before, the Malenko brothers versus Fuchi and Ogawa. We might do that again here. Because, yeah, well, that was night 1. So, yeah, that makes sense. It's been a couple of nights, it's been basically almost a month. Obviously it was the beginning of the month, and now we're at the end of the month. So I just feel like that makes sense. We'll give the Malenko brothers a win this time around, as Dean can beat Fuchi there. I don't know why we dropped it down to 16. We can go with 17 and it still work. As we could go with a Doc or Terry, either way, but we'll go with Doc. That's Steve Williams versus Dan Crawford. Not a great night for the Miracle Vines, or not a great night for the Can-Am Express, rather, as Dr. Death's going to beat Crawford, and then Kawada's going to beat Furnace. So we'll do then Furnace and Gordy the next night, or maybe even night 15 if we really want to. So I think that's going to do better. We'll see. We shall see. Tag match, though, that at least gets a tag match on the books. As I was thinking Masao and Kikuchi, just to try that on for size. Could also do, we could do Masao Kikuchi against, as far as either Johnny Smith in Dynamite, or we could do Johnny Smith and somebody else. I just feel like it should probably be just Johnny Smith, the Dynamite Kid there. Because, we did the 6-man of this, and we did... So I think this is for the best, I think. We'll see. Could also go with Misawa, I guess, if we really wanted to. Or, not Misawa. We could go with Stan Hansen if we really wanted to. Go with Stan and Dynamite. It's a pretty good match. And have Misawa beat Stan to, kind of keep him in the right direction as far as popularity goes. Well, guess we'll keep him strong. Alright, Stan Hansen. You're killing me. Yeah, I guess we'll just go back to Dynamite, to Johnny Smith, I guess. So yeah, we'll have Johnny lose to Misawa. I don't know, that match is just so good. Maybe not so good, but it's definitely really good. Yeah, we'll have it be there, I guess, as the co-main. Alright, well, we got our top 4, I know that much. So now with our bottom 4. Duel Butcher and Giant Kamala. Renegade Warriors. So I think we've done this before, yeah? No, we haven't. Perfect. 10 minutes, Abdul the Butcher gets the win. And oh yeah, Norman's back. Hell yeah. As since we can, you never know when we'll be able to use him next. Him and Candido will be a lot of fun. I don't think we've done this. So Norman can beat Candido there. As I like the Mitsuya Momoto Mighty Inoue team. We'll make it a 6-man though. As far as we'll add Masao Inoue to it. Masao Inoue. And then the team of Haruka Haijin, Rush Kimura, Jun Akiyama. "10 minutes. Mighty Inoue over Haruka Haijin. I already got to change some time, so that's great. We'll just go ahead and do that now. And for one more undercard matchup, let's go with the normal singles. It's Toru Asako. And thinking Richard Slinger, to be honest. Because we haven't done this before. And he gets Richard Slinger a win after losing to Firecat. There we go. Good stuff. Oh, yeah, we need to steal the show match. Oof. I guess it could be Norman and Candido. Hopefully the pop is there for Norman. If not, we're fucked. We might have it be this match, just to be on the safe side. I feel a little bit better about that, but this is a really fun match with Norman and Candido. I forgot to change the venue. Oh, no, we didn't. We changed it. Never mind. It's Richard Slinger, and Satoru Asako gets a 34, thanks to not enough pop there. Richard Slinger, though, doing pretty well. 36 for Norman Smiley and Chris Candido. Yep. Pop was not on their side, but Norman's in the 50s, though, so that's great. As the Norman Conquest for Norman Smiley in 555, or 955, rather. Jesus. Let's see, 45 for Abdullah Butcher and Giant Kamala. Against the Renegade Warriors, who are getting a little better here, as Mark almost outperformed Abdullah Butcher and Giant Kamala, so that's nice. As Abby was really off his game. But Abdullah Butcher with the Sudanese meat cleaver, 10:08. Another 42, we just haven't really hit that threshold yet, and I don't think we ever will, because that last match was supposed to be it, and it certainly was not, as the 6-man team of Jun Akiyama, or rather Mighty Inoue, Mitsuya Momoto, and Masao Inoue beat the team of Haruka Aijin, Rush Kimura, and Jun Akiyama's Mighty Inoue with the steamroller over Haruka Aijin in 9:44. Again, probably should have gave that to Mitsuya Momoto, but we keep on trying to give Mighty Inoue wins. 59, though, for the Malenko brothers versus Masabu Fuchi and Yoshinori Agawa, as the Malenko with the Texas Clover Leaf over Masabu Fuchi. So yeah, Fuchi with 61 now. 59 for Ogawa. 66 for Dean Malenko, just Joe Malenko. Far behind. 65 for Doug Furness and Tetsuya Kawada. Put a little too much faith into that. But still was a pretty good match, as Kawada with the Kawada driver in 9:57. 61 for Tsuyoshi Kikuchi and Mitsuha Masao against Dynamite Kid and Johnny Smith, as Masao was the Tiger driver in 2020. As good stuff, though, from the British Bruisers. In the 66 main event, it's Dr. Death with a Dr. Bomb in 1936 over Dan Profit. Was hoping for a little bit more there, but that's okay. Still a pretty good top 3. Actually, should have flipped that in that. Not bad, though. Not bad. We just, the crowd was just too cooled. We couldn't get it rolling there, but that's okay. As we now have just 3 more tour shows left to book before our final show. Sakura Maeda getting the win. As Johnny Smith signing that contract. It's night 14. Here we go. So now we can, because Masao and Spivey is the main. Let's see what we got. As Masao is going to beat Dan Spivey there. See what we can do as far as a co-main. I like that as a main. I think it's pretty solid. We do something with Stan and Johnny Ace as far as maybe Miracle Vine's connection. That'd be pretty sick. Could even go Funks. I like that. Yeah, I like this a lot. As we'll have Terry beat Johnny Ace. I think that's going to be the main now. Over our Triple Crown champion, Masawa. So I'll say, we did a 6-man of this with Abdullah on the last episode, but I got a good... I mean, just Stan's going to do really well. I think it's going to be a really good main event. We'll go with a 6-man of Kobashi, Tsuyoshi Kikuchi, and we'll go with Jun Akiyama, and then the British Bruisers, and Pete Roberts, or we could even go Norman, if we want, if Norman's here. He is not. Because, yeah, we did this a couple of times now. This was kind of towards the earlier part of the tour, though. Got it like a 60, so, I mean, should do okay. There's Johnny Smith over Jun Akiyama. Guess we could have it steal the show. But at 14. Because, I think having Furnace and Terry, I think that's the play. Furnace getting the win. Terry Gordy keeps on losing these singles matches. But it is what it is. Let's go back-to-back with the singles matches, then the tag match to end out the tour show here. As now we got our top 4. Got a bottom 4. See what we can do with... You ever go Jumbo Fuji against the Malenko brothers? So we haven't done that yet. Jumbo over Dean, actually. Dean Malenko take a loss. I don't think it's going to hurt him, Kind of want to switch that with that. Because I got faith in Jumbo for sure. Let's see here. Tag match. Let's see what Firecat and Candida can do as a team. Against Tommy and Jackie Fulton. As we'll have Tommy Rogers get the win, though. Doesn't matter who takes the fall, because it should be Candido. We'll see if the game agrees. And let's see what else we got. So Takeo Mori still. And Jun Izumaida. I think we're going to have another team of Kabuki and Jun Izumaida. Abdullah and John Kamala, though. As Jun Izumaida going to take the fall here. Over John Kamala. John Kamala's going to beat Jun Izumaida. Yeah, so I think we got a pretty good show, to be honest, already. Even if we have a pretty shitty opener, which we probably will. But we'll go with Mitsuya Momoto. And let's see which. If we go with Omori, yeah, let's go with Takeo Omori. I don't think we've done this yet. As Momoto getting the win. Alright. Just gotta change. Oh, that. It is nice that we're not getting oversaturated, which is cool. Really appreciate that. So I guess we'll go Osaka. Yeah, it's probably for the best. And we'll run the show. 44 for Mitsuya Momoto and Takeo Mori. At least it wasn't. I mean, we've had worse openers for sure. We had a 19 on this tour before, as Giant Kamala pinning Jun Izumaida with the Air Africa 9:59. Kabuki, best guy in the match, carrying this one. Abdullah Butcher again being off his game. Giant Kamala with a 45, and then 25 for Jun Izumaida. 55 for Tommy Rogers and Jackie Fulton, as they have excellent chemistry. That works out. As Tommy Rogers pinning Candido with the Tommy Knocker in 12:49. What a great pairing, having Tommy Rogers, Bobby Fulton, Jackie Fulton. It's just, it's a nice little team. Firecat and Candido didn't do that bad either. 57 for Jun Akiyama, Kendo Kobashi, and Tsuyoshi Kikuchi against Pete Roberts and the British Bruisers, as Johnny Smith pinning Jun Akiyama with the Death Valley Bomb at 14:26. It's Kobashi for the 67, 61 for Kikuchi, 60 for Dynamite Kid, 59 for Johnny Smith, 44 for Pete Roberts, and 31 for Jun Akiyama. So I had to calm Pete Roberts down after the match. He's upset that Kendo Kobashi almost injured him with a botch move. He's 75, though, for Jumbo Tsuruta and Masa Fuchi against the Malenko brothers, as Jumbo Tsuruta with the jumping knee strike over Dean Malenko in 16:09. Yeah, Jumbo Tsuruta, the man. Joe Malenko struggling there, but to keep up with everybody else, that makes sense. 66, though, for Terry Gordy and Doug Furness, as it's pretty close, though. Doug Furness, though, with the Frankenstein on 20:28. And then a 69 for Masawa and Dan Spivey, as Masawa with the rolling elbow. Rolling. For the guy who made the 2011 save that we're doing. Rolling elbow, as Masawa getting the win in 1952 over Dan Spivey. Main event to 75, as Johnny Ace cracks his ribs, though, unfortunately, as Terry Funk with the spinning toe over Johnny Ace in 1952. So yeah, Stan Hansen 86, 74 for Terry Funk, 69 for Dory Funk Jr., then 59 for Johnny Ace. Cracked ribs is tough, as if Terry Funk concussed it. Jesus, come on, Terry. Can't be doing that. So yeah, I mean, I definitely could have bumped that up to the co-main for sure, but I liked what the card was looking like anyways. But we'll take it, though. It was a 74 show. We needed that. We needed a good show going our way. As we keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. We're almost here. Almost here. As I cannot wait for this tour to end. I'll be honest. I'm kind of going crazy as far as I feel like we've done everything we can. But we only have 2 more tour shows left. As what is our announcer's trying to leave us. Probably should keep him around. As on to night 15 we go. Alright, so we don't have anything planned for night 15. Sure, we'll think of something. But Gary Albright, brought for Russell's Court, accused of not joining the rest of the locker room for a night out, as the judge Stan Hansen found him guilty and sentenced by drinks thrown off the show. Nice. We'll just go ahead since we're already here. We'll just go ahead and make that 2 hours. That's what we'll start doing. As, see where else we can run this show at. That's not Kanto. It's, Yeah, we'll go here. There we go. So yeah, because we just have obviously 15, 16, which is Friday, and then I want to say we have that show set for Sunday. I just want to double check. Oh no, it is Saturday, so it is back to back to back. Okay. We might run Kanto Friday and then Saturday too. Not a terrible idea. Not the worst thing in the world. As for, because I want to run Budokan, because that's where they had that show at, the last show. So that's the idea. Hopefully we'll be able to run it. I would like, because I've been holding off doing this match, to do Kawada and Masawa on this side. Kawada and Kikuchi on the other side. Or we could even have Jun Akiyama with Kawada and have Omori with Masawa to kind of have like a, hey, young lions, and it doesn't really make sense for a main event probably, but for a solid like co-main, I think it's in a good spot. Masawa's going to be Jun Akiyama though, unfortunately. I wonder if Norman's here. No, he's not. Great. Let's go with a tag match of Dynamite Kid and Pete Roberts against Satoshi Kikuchi and Kenta Kobashi. Oh, I'm about to say, I think we've not done as far as a tag version of this. As, yeah, we'll have Satoshi Kikuchi beat Pete Roberts. Oh, yeah, set this for All Out. Give it 12, I guess. Because I feel like it's going to be pretty good, but kind of more on like the mid-card section of the card, not like the upper part of the card. I do want to, because I want to say, as far as Furnace, because Furnace, maybe doing something with 6-man with Miracle Vine's connection, the K-Man Express. Not exactly sure what, but we'll figure something out, I'm sure. Might go with another young lion again. Have Masaya Noe over here, and Candido on the Miracle Vine's Connection team. Sato or even Satoru Sako. Just something a little different. As well, if Crawford beat Satoru Sako. I mean, it's definitely a different type of feel. Throwing a lot of young lions on the top half of the card. But I think it's gonna work. I have a feeling. I have faith. I have faith. As for trying to get Andre in a match, but I don't want him to get hurt. That would suck. So I was thinking Andre with Mighty Inoue in Mitsuya Momoto, kind of on one side, and then having Abby, Giant Warrior, and John Kamal on the other side. Yeah, like 7 minutes. Giant Warrior can beat Mighty Inoue. It's fine. So, Inoue the ref. They're definitely on the undercard. Again, with the tag match of Jun Izumaida and the Great Kabuki, I really like that team. For a like established guy and a young lion guy. Janice is working through those broken ribs, though. God bless him. He's a trooper. Absolute trooper. As, let's see here what we can do. We can go with the Renegade Warriors, I guess. I don't think we've done that before. I feel like we keep on giving Chris wins. Let's give it to Mark since he seems to be the better of the two. Junichi Umaida. There we go. The undercard should be interesting as far as who's going to be in it. So we don't have a lot of options. Scott Armstrong. And Firecat. Done this before? Let's say we have last tour. Richard Slinger. See if we've done this before. Okay, we haven't. Not a bad match here, but it's gonna get shot down because of pop. Let's see. Yeah, I'd have Firecat and Candido team up again. See what would be a team that would at least make a little bit of sense here. So I'm just getting Billy Black and Joel Deaton. That's all I'm getting. So I guess we'll run it. Yeah, Billy Black can get the win. Doesn't matter who. Yeah, we definitely need a better... Wouldn't say co-main, but definitely something better. Something with a little more spice to it. Oh, we didn't do... that's right. I don't think we did Dory Funk Jr. in the TEW yet. That singles match. Yeah, we have it. Perfect. TEW is going to get the win. All is well. Q. Yeah, let's put it there. So we need to steal the show match. I guess it can be this. Nice. Just kind of curious to see what's... Okay, just a couple of views. Too much? No big deal. Yeah, 33 here for Richard Slinger and Scott Armstrong. It's Richard Slinger with a 49, though. Gets the one with the thrust kick in 10:08. 46 for the Renegade Warriors against Junichi Umaida and the Great Kabuki. As diving tomahawk from Mark Youngblood in 9:38. Oh, it's good. Now Chris outperforms him. Great. That's what I get. It's 48 for the 6-man. Thank God nobody got hurt. It's Mitsuya Momoto, best guy in the match. Then Giant Kamala, Mighty Inoue, Giant Warrior. Do a little bit better than Andre, way the fuck down there. Giant Warrior pinning Mighty Inoue with a powerbomb. It's 49 for Joel Deaton and Billy Black against Firecat and Candido. As Firecat with a 49, though, really good stuff. With the guillotine leg drop for Billy Black there. 66 for Kobashi and Kikuchi against Dynamite Kid and Pete Roberts. As Tsuyoshi Kikuchi pinning Pete Roberts. Guess he doesn't have his finisher set either. So, yeah, Dynamite Kid, 57, 60, and 72 for Kikuchi and Kobashi. Of course, 31 for Pete Roberts. Got the crowd buzzing, though, at least. As Dory Funk Jr. Akira Taue with a 70. Taue with the Dynamic Bomb in 1955. Another 70 for Masao Inoue with Dan Crawford and Doug Furness. As the Canadian Express. Taking on Satoru Sako and the Miracle Bonds Connection as Dan Crawford with the Cobra Clutch on Satoru Sako in 14:26. It's really good. Really good for having young lions involved, especially. 66 for our main event, as Masao and Takeo Mori beating Toshio Kawada and Jun Akiyama. As Kawada outperforms Mitsuya Masawa. Just all timeline where Kawada becomes the guy. That would be, it just seems like it's going to happen. As far as performance-wise, which is just hilarious. 64, though, for the show. Could be worse. Could be a lot worse. So our final tour show, we just about did it. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. So I have really no idea what we want to do next. So I'm kind of grasping at straws. So, okay, we're still good on that. I do want to bring an Ultimo Dragon, though. That was someone I was like, man, probably should have brought him in. Because, like, he's in CMLL and UWA, so that might hurt him. But I think he would fit kind of in with what All Japan... All Japan had used, like, Dos Caras and Mil Mascaras. They would use some lucha guys in the past. It's kind of like the mid to late 70s, and, you know, like, Destroyer and Mil Mascaras kind of had, like, you know, they had 2 out of 3 Falls matches kind of throughout all Japan, and they did really well, so I think it could translate as far as using lucha guys, quote unquote, in Ultimo Dragon, because you see it obviously Japanese, but yeah, obviously, yeah, it works at lucha style, so it's the same deal, but you know, let's get rolling here. Yeah, we'll keep it in Korakuen. But yeah, we have nothing pre-booked, so kind of just gotta wing it. Thinking as far as for a big time 6-man, Funks with Kawada, and then actually, it's not gonna work because I keep on wanting to do this and having Jumbo Taue in Misawa. But we're gonna do it. Because fuck it. Even though it's Saruda-gun and Super Generation Army guy teaming up. Champs versus challengers is the idea there. And think about giving the challenger the win here. So we're gonna have Kawada beat Dory Funk Jr. Another loss for poor Dory Funk Jr., but great win for Kawada. And that's a fun main. It's a fun main. A lot of good stuff there. I think we're going to do a 6-man again. As, because I'm pretty sure we've done this before. Kobashi Kikuchi with Dean Malenko. Oh. We could even do an 8-man, I guess, to change it up. Have, yeah, that's what we can do. So we can have the British Bruisers with Fuchi and Okawa against the Malenko brothers and Kobashi and Kikuchi. Actually, we'll go the other way with it to make sense. I really like this. This makes a lot of sense. And, yeah, gotta go 20 here. As far as who's going to win, Fuchi against Dynamite Kid. Yeah. I like it. There we go. So, yeah, we're basically... That's the top 4 matches of this next card. Building up for it. So I like that a lot. And hell, with the Joe Malenko Masato Fuchi interaction as well. So, I mean, that's building 5 matches just in those 2 matches right there. So that's great. That's exactly what we want. I think I'm going to do with another 8-man. If we can. Maybe not. Maybe just a tag. We're going to split it kind of half and half. So we're going to have Furnace and Dr. Death. And then have Andre team with Dr. Death. And Johnny Ace team with... Even though Johnny's got the cracked ribs. It should be fine. Keep it 8 minutes. And, guess Dr. Death could beat Johnny Ace there. Actually, Furnace is going to beat Andre the Giant. What the fuck am I thinking? Might as well. Might as well. And the next one, which will probably be a little higher, is Baba with Mitsuya Momoto against Stan Hansen and Dan Spivey. We'll give that one 10, though. Actually, we'll give it 8 again. As well, if Spivey beat Mitsuya Momoto. God damn you, Baba. Give it 6. So that's our top four. That's quite the top four. As far as we've been kind of using this, Candido, Firecat, and Kabuki, Izumaida, we've been using those two teams pretty frequently, so we'll have them face each other. Except for Steal the Show, as Kabuki will be pinning Firecat. Nice. So I was thinking having Joel Deaton, Billy Black, and Richard Slinger get the Eagle, the Falcon, and Tommy Rogers. Let's give it 14, and we'll have Richard Slinger beat Scott Armstrong. Nice. So now, for the next two undercard matches, it's just singles matches. As Jun Akiyama and Satoru Sako with the Young Lion match. Yeah, well, we've done that kind of recently, so fairly recently. Maybe not super recently, but fairly recently. Oh, that's right. We were gonna have. I forgot. We were gonna have. Yeah, that was supposed to be. Yeah, it's. Let's change that to Crawford. Yeah, let's go Crawford and Johnny Ace. Rather, not Johnny Ace. Gary Albright. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Now we gotta change this. As Gary Albright could beat Mitsuya Yamamoto. Definitely. Kind of want to switch that now. Yeah, that's much better. Makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, I guess we could have Abdul the Butcher and Takeo Omori. I'll say we've done this before. Night 8. Didn't do that well, so maybe not. I do love Stan Hansen and Takeo Omori, though, so we'll do that instead. Which I want to say, I don't think we've done this before. And let's see who Masada Noe will be facing. I guess Dan Spivey. Just kind of keep it in the same realm. There we go. I think we got a pretty good card here, to be honest. It has no business, as far as for the last show of the tour. Going into the last show of the tour, rather. This should be really good. 45 for Dan Spivey and Masada Noe. Let's say don't click. As Dan Spivey with the Spivey Spike, 946. Yeah, 75 there for Stan Hansen and Takeo Omori. Stan Hansen with a 90. And Stan Hansen with the Laird at 936. 53 for Firecat and Chris Candido against the Great Kabuki and Jun Izumaida. Firecat, best guy in the match. Even though he lost to second best guy in the match. And the Great Kabuki should have just probably been Candido taking the fall there. So 58 for Richard Slinger with Joel Deaton and Billy Black against Tommy Rogers, Scott Armstrong, and Jackie Fulton. As, we got 57 rather, for Jackie Fulton, who's best guy in the match. Then Tommy Rogers, then Joel Deaton. 50 for Richard Slinger, 47 for Billy Black, and then 37 for Scott Armstrong. So yeah, he definitely deserved to take the fall there. Then Gary Albright and Dan Crawford, as they don't work well at all as a team, which makes sense, as Gary Albright pinning Mitsuya Yamamoto with the belly-to-belly suplex. So yeah, Mitsuya Yamamoto with a 53, 45 for Giant Baba, worst guy in the match. 62 for Johnny Ace and Doug Furnace, as Doug Furnace with the Frankenstein on Andre the Giant. Yeah, that's a great guy to take a Frankensteiner. Andre the fucking Giant. As Dr. Death, 68. Just that team. Dr. Death and Andre the Giant. They're off their games. Andre was tired. It was a shit show. Absolute shit show. 69, though, for this 8-man. as Masato Fuchi with the STF on Joe Malenko in 1938. So we got a 69 for Kobashi, 60s for, or 63 rather, for Dean Malenko. Then a lot of 60s for Fuchi, Dynamite Kid, and Tsuyoshi Kikuchi. 58 for Ogawa, and the 56 for Joe Malenko. He was getting a lot better, so that's nice. And an 81 for our main event. Way to go, Jumbo Tsuruta. Way to go, Terry Funk. Way to go, Kawada, Misawa, Dory Funk Jr. Everybody was awesome, but Taue, unfortunately. Taue with a 64. Was just behind everybody else in that match. Really good match, though. Really good match. Very good main event. And now, finally, we made it to the finals of this giant series. I can't believe it. We did it. And hopefully everything goes well. As now it's freezing on us. Let's see what we got. As far as Joe Higuchi. Yeah, Kenta Kobashi's money. Yeah, he is. Yes, he is. I'm just gonna see if we can change Sal's morale before we get into this night. 10,000 should do it, yeah. Never mind. 20,000 should do it. Jesus Christ. It's 40,000. Oh, I hate this game. 50,000. Jesus Christ. 100,000. I can't even. I can't even. Shit. Sucks. Oh my god, I got us at the Tokyo Dome. Whoa. So I was not ready for that. Was not ready at all. Jesus Christ. Well, I guess. I guess we could run the Tokyo Dome. As, of course, our main event. Kawada, Misawa. This really puts this in a whole other perspective as far as Misawa's first title defense in the Tokyo Dome against Toshiaki Kawada. Jesus Christ. But Misawa's going to get the win. Hopefully he doesn't get outperformed. That would suck. As the Funks versus Jumbo Tsuruta and Kira Taue. This should be a really good match, but the Jumbo Tsuruta Kira Taue team will be beating the Funks, as Jumbo's going to beat Terry Funk there. So that's fun. It's in the British Bruisers against Kenta Kobashi and Tsuyoshi Kikuchi. Kenta Kobashi beating Dynamite Kid there. And that's another defense for the All-Asia Tag Team Champs. I don't give a shit, Dynamite Kid, as Dean Malenko versus Yoshinori Ogawa. I think this is going to surprise people, but Ogawa's going to actually win and retain and get his first defense. I'm just trying to have Malenko kind of elevate him here, is the idea behind that. That's going to go 20, though, is the Can-Am Express against the Miracle Violence Connection, as the Miracle Violence Connection are actually going to lose, as Doug Furnace is going to beat Terry Gordy there. It's a big win for the Can-Am Express. And then Joe Malenko and Masatobu Fuchi. So, as Fuchi, I'm going to set that for Steal the Show against Joe Malenko. And obviously he's going to get the win. Actually, I think we had Joe actually getting the win there. Okay, no, we didn't. So, yeah, it makes sense. Just Fuchi's much better. Then this 8-man of Gaijin team over here of Stan Hansen, Dance by Vigero Albright, and Johnny Ace against Giant Baba, Andre the Giant, Mighty Inoue, Mitsuya Momoto, and Andre's final matchup, his farewell matchup of All Japan. Then Jun Akiyama against the Great Kabuki to open up the show. Should be pretty good. Should be. But just as far as who else is on this card, we could throw on the pre-show. Or could throw, okay, Norman Smiley and Pete Roberts. I just want to see Richard Slinger and Chris Candido, just to see how they would do as a team. Here, as we'll have Norman. Actually, we'll have Pete Candido, but pretty good matchup. Pretty good pre-show matchup, if I do say so myself. Then the next one, which will probably be another tag, is Abdullah the Butcher, Giant Kamala, Jun Izumaida, Takeo Amori. Let's see, I don't think we've done this either. As it doesn't matter who gets the win. Just it's either gonna be Abby or Giant Kamala. Either way, they could use it. All right, well that was fast. Let's run it. 47 for the first of the two pre-show matches. It's funny, they actually did the same. I figured now that they're not on a tour setting, it would actually work. It's like a normal show. Actually didn't really change, as Abdullah the Butcher gets the win with his Sudanese meat cleaver over Takeo Mori, though, at 9:37. Was over that big Juni's of mine. I probably should have just picked that one. As a 58, though, for this tag match, Norman Smiley's almost in the 60s, as Pete Roberts pinning Chris Candido there. Candido almost outperformed him. Yeah, just Norman Smiley's the man. 2 thumbs up from me. As Great Kabuki and Jun Akiyama gets 50 to open up the show. As Great Kabuki with a thrust kick in 10:19. So 64. This 8-man. Stan Hansen with a 96. That's insane. As Gary Albright with the belly-to-belly suplex over Giant Bomb in 10:13. Yeah, I mean, just God bless Stan Hansen. That's all you could say there. It's Andre with a 31. And that's it for him. For All Japan. Just makes sense, you know. We used him. We did. He did the thing. And actually, Joe Malenko outperforms him, so that's what I get for having Fuji beat him. But that's a fun match, though. Got the crowd buzzing. And the little junior heavyweight matchup is gets a 69, though. Nice. It's not bad at all. It's an 80 for the Can-Am Express against Miracle Vine's Connection. Right team wins there, as obviously Dr. Death just killing this one as, well, the right team doesn't win, actually, as a big upset. I don't know why I was thinking the right team won, but Doug Furness pinning Terry Gordy. At least, probably should, if we would have had Crawford at least beat Gordy, it would have made sense because he outperformed him, but even then, more just kind of a prelude to the World Tag League is what that match is, and a big upset. 77 for the Junior Heavyweight title matchup is Ogawa, making his first defense of the All Japan World Junior Heavyweight title. So yeah, Dean Malenko with 73, 61 for Yoshinori Ogawa. Just Dean Malenko's the man there. As a 79, though, for the All Asia Tag title matchup, as Dynamite Kid and Johnny Smith do not outperform Tsuyoshi Kikuchi and Kendo Kobashi, as that's their third defense of the All Asia Tag Team titles. Great win for Kobashi and Kikuchi there. It's an 85 for the Funks against Jumbo Tsuruta and Akira Taue. I do not have faith in that main event now. It's Jumbo Tsuruta with a 96. Jesus Christ. So we need better color commentary, it looks like. As Jumbo Tsuruta and Akira Taue make their second defense of the All Japan as the All Japan Unified World Tag Team titles. As that's some good stuff though. Good stuff. Backdrop suplex for Jumbo over Terry Fung. It's awesome. Awesome. 87 main event. Thank Christ. As Masao making his first defense of the All Japan Triple Crown title. A successful defense. So he does outperform him. It was worth it. The $100,000, or actually probably more like $170. As far as $170,000 put into getting Masao's morale back in the right place was definitely well worth it. Wow, what a show. We needed that. we desperately needed that. As that's just a step in the right direction. That's what I get, though, for being a little tentative and just being like, it's not going to be enough. It was certainly enough. Especially now that we're rocking and rolling here. I think we're in a really, really good spot. And we'll give some love to Dynamite Kid, I guess, to try to get him so he doesn't hate us. But definitely Masao and Kawada getting the love. And that was just awesome. That was awesome to see. 2 thumbs up from me. And, couldn't ask for anything better. Great start to the series. I mean, that's really, our first full tour. And it was a pretty successful one. So I think that even though we're not going to be able to gain a lot of pop for the next 6 months, I'm still fine with where we're at. How do we do against New Japan, though? Hey, we had a better show than New Japan, so fuck that. Awesome. Fuck New Japan. We did the damn thing. And there's our color commentator resign. So thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, you're a real one. You got to see the rise of All Japan as we're moving in the right direction. So now we got the tag league to figure out. We'll figure something out. I'm sure we'll make something work, and I'm a little nervous, as far as the first league to do. It kind of fucks up the momentum of some guys, but I think we'll be able to make it work. As we'll catch you guys next time. Take care, everyone.